All right. Who's gonna recap last time and that mess?
Can we just scream? Like, in the chorus?
Pain, suffering, and pain.
The
So-
dice were angry and we were angrier.
We fought the armor
we
things.
started off with the fight on the Helmed Horrors.
Yeah. They were fun. The room was a pendulum. Well, it's reverse gravity. So,
More like an hourglass.
yeah, more like an hourglass, so we kept getting a little fucked over sometimes. And we're like, okay, we fought through that. Cool, breather, good. Did we have a short rest after that? Yes?
I think you did take at least a brief rest.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
I remember it. That's
Yeah, okay, so we took a short rest, then decided, hey, we still have some cavern stuff to look through in this dungeon. Let's keep crawling. So we got through some areas, found some dead... What were the dead things? I keep forgetting
guard
what the dead
drakes.
thing. Yeah, dead guard drakes.
probably green.
And yeah, probably green. We found a little supply area, and we found a bedroom or office thing, and it had a security orb that we could see different rooms. Like Alsana could see different rooms if focusing on
It was
different
like
things.
micro-scrying.
Yeah, like little micro scrying. So we're like, okay, cool. Move towards. Got to this a southern room that was filled with a lot of weapons, stuff like that. So Kane went, "Whoop, we're looting, boys," and whoop, we looted and got attacked by a lot of animated armor and
Hello, John.
that was hello, John, and that
Speaking of which,
was not a fun fight. Alaris Alaris casted darkness, which fucked everyone over, including like himself, because all of that shit in that room had blind sight.
Didn't know that.
And yeah, Alaris went down. Yeah, Alaris went down, and then that room had effects where there was the anti-life, so we couldn't heal anyone with spells. And then there was just bullshittery all around. I think there was a darkness thing in that room too, wasn't there?
Yeah, there was.
Yeah, there was darkness in
Yeah,
that
there
room
would
too.
go darkness or anti-life or both.
Yeah,
Or
so
neither.
Alsana,
There was a neither
Yeah.
option. You just
Didn't
didn't
get the
land
neither
on
option.
it. Yeah, in the
Yeah, no.
future, I'll try to balance that better.
yep, and Alsana's like, I know how to fix this. When Alaris casted darkness and casted moonbeam on him, and that was great. So we survived that room. We survived. We good.
Barely.
And then barely. And then there was a little bit of just conflict with Alaris, Kane, Alsana of just like, why'd you cast Moonbeam? Why'd you cast Darkness, motherfucker? And a lot of back and forth. So Alaris
Not really
and called up
Alaris just kind of.
Yeah, Alaris
Yeah.
wasn't much of
I
that.
think
Kane was
sucks.
just
a lot of Kane was being
Kane
and
was being
Alsana
offended
was
for
being
someone
like,
else.
yeah. So Alaris left the cavern to go heal, because boy did he need it. Called a left to get some alone time. Alsana went into the library little room to start looking through stuff, and Kane ended up sleeping in the entrance to this little cavern area. So we all got our long rest, and that's where we left off.
We're actually going to pick up during your guys' long rests.
Okay.
I don't like where this is going.
Don't you? Calda? You do
Yes.
have a bunk all to yourself if after alone time, or if during it you wanted to just go to the room that you would have been given with Alsana. Alsana just doesn't turn up that night. So the room is entirely yours for the evening if you choose. If you'd rather go and find some other nook or cranny somewhere that you can kind of huddle into and get some rest, might not be as good quality, but you'll get your rest. Whatever you prefer.
Yep, she's probably just gonna find a little grassy area and just set up the bedroll and just look up at the sky until she falls asleep.
Let's see. You might need just a little bit of some kind of small fire tent. Most of the snow is probably gone about now. The day was unusually warm, but it's cooled off towards evening. There's still melty snow bits here and there, but you can make yourself fairly comfortable and
Yep,
huddle down.
She'll set up the 2-person tent, which is a 4-person tent if you're Calda.
Yep. Very roomy. And as you go to sleep, you just kind of have a fairly restful night despite some shifting dreams. It's the usual kind of nonsense that you get in dreams. You know, one moment you're home, one moment you dream that you're kind of walking down a road somewhere, you're not quite sure where you're going. Next moment you dream maybe somebody's walking alongside you, maybe you're alone. Just kind of that up and down, in and out, not quite storyline of a dream. At one point, you dream of sitting in a tavern, you're listening to a bard tell a story of this great hero and all their deeds, and you know in the dream you are that hero, but no one recognizes you, and you can't seem to say anything about it. You either can't bring yourself to say it, or if you do speak up, saying, actually, they got that detail, I'm the person, and nobody really pays attention to you. It does come across as really frustrating, and you do wake up very briefly after that little arc of dream, and then you fall back asleep and get the rest of your sleep. Conrad has unfortunately crashed, but it looks like he's coming back.
I think I'm good.
Alright, just in time. Kane, you make your bed in the entranceway of this, the caved-in entranceway, really, the makeshift entrance. You heard just from people just starting to do preliminary poke around in the areas you guys have gone through and cleared out, that the staircase going up and ending at kind of a wall that you guys peeked down the hallway at and didn't explore, does apparently open into this secret door that somebody had built a shelving unit in front of unwittingly in the storeroom upstairs. So they've kind of been working on clearing that out a little bit for easier access before people just generally went to bed around you for the night. Anyway, you've set out your bedroll in this area. Not the most comfortable thing, but you've had worse. In your dreams, again, it's kind of that shifting in and out weave of nonsense events and people and not really plot lines. A mix of familiar and strange, of course. At one point, your dreams do actually turn kind of strange but pleasant, as you're just walking and talking about something. You can't really get your brain around it, you can't really remember it, with someone you think is probably Eloise. The dream isn't very clear on the point. You're in a location that seems to be this mixed up cross between Soren, the town of Moor, the hills with tents that you were familiar with at one time, and the you spot even the childhood home you grew up in with Alsana, though it's all kind of mix-mashed together. But in the dream, you consider this perfectly natural. There's nothing strange about it. Eloise is telling you stories as you walk along, but when you do finally wake up, you can't quite recall what any of them were actually about. Elaris, in your dream, you're back home in Walton. You're sitting at the table in the kitchen area of your home. It's familiar. Your wife and son aren't in the room with you. You get the sense in the dream they're not in the house, but you sense that they're just outside of it. They're within calling distance if you felt like calling out to them. Right now, though, you're comfortable by yourself, and you've got that little trinket that you picked up in one of the treasure rooms, that small black orb that reminds you so much of the little pearl that you got from your patron, though this one doesn't seem to have that power. And you're just kind of rolling it between your hands across the surface of the table, spinning it around, playing with it. But at one point you pick it up and you feel your fingers sink into the surface ever so slightly, just the smallest give. Not enough to really work at it, and when you take your hand away, it is unmarked, unmarred. And the longer you kind of roll it around in your hands or between them, the softer that surface seems to get, until eventually it feels like almost a lump of clay, something that you could shape into something else, but maybe you don't quite know what.
Hmm.
And slowly, as you're playing with this, you get the sense that you're still sitting at your table, but it's no longer in your kitchen. Instead, everything seems misty gray. You can just make out the walls around you, but they're not quite there. It's a strange vision that's taken over this otherwise familiar environment. You look up and around, and you don't see Xanthus, but you feel the presence there. And there's this whisper, not in his voice, but kind of in your own mind, in the fabric of the dream. And it asks you, why does he care? He's inevitable death. What does it matter to him that anyone struggles, if it's so inevitable?
What?
You're left to kind of think on that
Mhm.
until you finally wake up. Alsana, they're not the only ones to deal with little bits of subconscious bubbling up in the night. You pore over the books, taking great care of them, as late as you can stand, but eventually you have to rest as well. And so you do fall asleep surrounded by this musty, dusty smell of old paper and glue and leather.
Comforting.
Yes, and unfortunately, your dreams aren't quite as comforting as that surrounding environment. In your dreams, you're still here, or at least you're in a place with a lot of books. You're in some kind of library. You get the sense of greater space beyond what you can see, so perhaps it's not this, but another one. The important part is you're surrounded by shelves and shelves of books, all the knowledge you could ever want, everything you ever had a question on could be answered if only you can find the right tome, the right page, and the right passage. But every time you pluck a book from a shelf and flip through it, you look at the pages and you feel your vision going almost unnaturally dark, as if that experience with that magical darkness was overtaking your senses, but only when you try specifically to read. Every time in the dream you glance away from the pages or don't focus on the words, you can see just as normally as ever. Even if the room was fully in darkness, you can still see as if in dim light. You have that vision. You have always had it throughout your life. It's only when the darkness is magical that that vision is thwarted. And in this case, it's stopping you from what you want. It's keeping you away from it. And as this frustration mounts inside the dream, as you try to read and are unable to, you hear this distant rumble as if of thunder, but then you glance up and you see the bookshelves shifting and creaking and then collapsing inwards towards you with a roar, and with that you jolt awake. Looking up, looking around, everything is still, everything is quiet, everything is as it was. There's nothing marring your sight. And with that, everybody, one by one, at their own time, will wake up with their long rest.
So we can get a long rest proper.
You do. So if you haven't clicked it, go ahead and do so.
All of my spell slots.
So Alaris, you wake up, probably the only one in the shared bunk room. Kane is waking up in his bedroll at the entrance of this place. Calda outside with the fresh smell of the morning air around you. And Alsana inside this little room surrounded by old books.
Sana will dig into her bag and just kind of fish out some like almonds and like dried berries. She's got a small bag and just kind of munch on that for breakfast.
Okay. Those who are upstairs you can pull out your rations if you want, or there is some food available. Something relatively simple, probably.
Kane will take any food offered.
Actually, your Aunt Adelaide goes by with a bit of food and gives it to you, and she has another, kind of a more container, a small box of food in a way. And she asks you, is your sister still down there?
I imagine if she came up, she would have kicked me in the ribs if I was asleep, so probably.
Are you alright?
I mean, feel a bit better than yesterday.
Good. That was a mess.
But
How
you
does...
seemed a bit unfocused in the second half there.
Might have lost track of a few things. But don't worry, I'll be just fine today. How was Alsana?
Moody as usual.
Don't worry about her. Isolation isn't the healthiest thing to do.
Don't I know it? But only so much we can do without forcing the issue to get worse, you know?
Keep looking out for her. She might say she doesn't need it, but... well, everybody needs someone occasionally.
No, she needs it. If she doesn't take it, I'm not gonna give it to her.
Just mind her back, at the very least.
Of course.
Good lad. And she pats you on the shoulder and heads down the hallways through the darkness, holding a lantern in one hand so she can see her way.
Kane will gear up and then head it after her.
Okay. She goes through the winding rooms towards the door where you had knocked and called in after Alsana, and she had not let you in last night. This time it is Adelaide who knocks. And Alsana, you hear, Alsana, I've got breakfast. Are you in there?
Yes, Auntie. She'll kind of like walk over and unprop the chair and just kind of open the door creak. And there's like the one, not bloodshot eyes, but just a bit of that red on the edges. She just kind of like looks through and is like, "Sorry, what was it you wanted?"
I brought you food.
Oh,
And maybe some company.
she just kind of, all right. She opens the door and just, is it anything too messy? I'm trying to keep to dry things in here.
There's a thermos of tea. There's some toast.
I think I can handle that.
If it's too much, you can just come out into the hallway, sit down and eat. It's not too dusty.
She can like tilt her head for a second. It's like, no, I've got reading to do.
Is that your plan for the day?
Well, I mean, there's further to explore this place. I'm guessing you and your troop haven't exactly gone down that spiral we circled back on previously.
No, we haven't explored untested boundaries yet, no. In fact, there wasn't much exploration last night. Most people were getting some rest.
Well, I appreciated the quiet, if anything else.
So, is there anything we can get you down here? Parchment quills, are you starting a catalog, or just reading for your own pleasure?
I mean, I can if you'd like. I'm doing a bit of a mental one myself with a small jot down. Just like a quarter of a piece of paper, kind of like torn away with just like very small writing on it.
You don't have to worry yourself too much. It's just if you wanted something to do.
Well, she kind of like rubs her face. I mean, if the rest of the group doesn't plan on continuing further today, then so be it, but I feel fine enough to continue on. Perhaps ask them what their opinion is.
Oh, I could head up and try to find the other two. I'll be leaving Kane here with you, I think.
She kind of like gives a look. What do you mean?
She steps to the side, and Kane, who followed her down here, is standing to one side of the door.
Door slowly closes.
Adelaide puts a hand out and holds it.
Yeah, you stick this piece of wood in the gap.
What do you want?
Figure I might as well do something while I'm here.
Then go do something else.
I'll just
outside, I'm sure you can sweep it up.
maybe I will, but I'll start over here.
No, you won't.
Is that in
Not
order?
touching a damn thing in here.
I haven't entered the room. I'm just on the outside.
No, but you're clearly making your intention too.
I just rather you didn't close the door. In case one of the books decide to try to eat your face.
You're not coming in here.
Actually,
Goodness, I
given the animation of other objects in this place, I'd be careful.
If they're going to do it, they would have done it while I was sleeping.
Well, that's what they want you to think.
Unless they needed a specific trigger in order to come awake.
Well, then I'm sure he'll stumble into it wonderfully. But I'd prefer not to have that happen as early as possible.
Yeah.
Alsana, there's nothing wrong with having somebody just to keep watch.
I can keep my own watch.
While reading a book. Impressive.
Yes.
Didn't know you had 4 eyes.
She for one, she goes into the shirt pocket and pulls out the glasses. Is that a joke with these? It's poor at best, and she puts it back. More importantly, I have 2 eyes. I have 2 ears. I can feel any movement in the ground.
Better 4 eyes, 4 ears, and 2 people to feel the ground, no? I'm not good at math, but I'm pretty sure that checks out.
I don't need you here. You
Didn't say you did.
especially.
Then
I'll
is
send
there
Calda or
somebody-
anyone else down, fine. But if you want to walk down here after that blow up yesterday, then I don't know what the hell you plan to accomplish.
Guard the door, like I said.
Alright.
Find something else to do. Good.
No. I'm good here.
There's visible irritation on Asana's face at this point.
Well, I'll go find the other members of your company.
Is this your plan, Auntie? Put us in a nice
I
little
just-
get-along shirt?
Would it work?
No, it
I
won't.
thought.
It's gonna end with collateral damage.
Still, it's an adorable image, isn't it?
Auntie, I appreciate the intent. Things have changed in the time we've been gone.
Oh, I'm aware. I am very aware. And alright, if the two of you absolutely refused to get along, then fine, I just hope for the best. That's all.
If he wants to play pretty little brother and sit in and be best friends, he certainly picked the worst time and the worst place to do it. If you want to go on even footing, fine. You're walking into here in something I value and something I care about. Meanwhile, you stand stock still, not giving a single reaction on a single word I say half the time. And I don't understand how any of this has any sort of good intentions. And if they
Alright.
don't, well then, quite frankly, I'm going to respond appropriately with the malicious ones.
Kane, would you go and find Ilaris and Calda?
Sure. Make sure you keep Gardner.
Thank you.
Until, go and grab them.
Alsana. Why so angry at him? What did he do? Anything?
She just kind of rubs her face. Can I be blunt with you?
Very likely.
Ever since we were young, I was saddled with him. He was my brother, and I had care for him, as any sister would. But the fact remains, he was not a brother I asked for. He was not a brother I sat in anticipation for. He was a brother whose arrival heralded the final nail in the coffin for my father and my mother getting along nicely. And father wasn't around to take care of him. And so what's a sister to do but to take care of the little brother? I did the chores, I cooked, I cleaned. I made sure of things. I was the older sister after all. And then just... it wasn't working. It never worked. And he took his leave. With all the appreciation that he always shows. And I was gone, and that was it. I was done. I was free. Any weight on the shoulders, gone. He's walked out the door. I can go out and do as I please. I'll be honest, Santi, I do feel bad about not leaving you any sort of note, but it was not anything close to the first thing in my mind all the time. I went out to do things I wanted to do. To find ideas and uncover secrets and learn magics. And then we got stuck together again. And I was saddled with him again. Just like usual, only this time it's fate bringing us together. Not disingenuous marriages. And now he comes doing the exact same thing he's always done. Stepping in front of the things I actually care about and things I want to take care of. I want to take care of him too. But he keeps getting in the way. He keeps sticking his foot in the door when I don't ask for it. And then other times he's content to just leave me go. I can't work with him. I can't deal with him. He's not normal. I can't have a conversation with him.
All right. Well, let me ask you one thing. For the first half, before him leaving, apparently without the gratitude that you expected.
I expected anything.
The first half of what you've said. Is it actually Cain that you resent, or is it Roy? Cain was just a child, just as you. He didn't ask to be born. He didn't ask for his mother or what Roy did behind your mother's back. It just happened. He didn't ask for you to be forced to be his caretaker. That was on Roy. Shouldn't have happened. And I'm sorry that I perhaps was too caught up in my own adventures to look in on you as often as I should have.
Don't any of that.
No. But regardless, I'd say that for most of that, it was more my brother's fault than yours. Now for the rest, perhaps there's some genuine disagreements, personality issues that I don't really have experience with being part of. But it's not going to make it easier carrying that resentment as you feel you've been stuck with him. But that being said, you don't have to go through with this. If you feel that you're not right for this, if you feel that you can't or shouldn't do this for any reason, even just including disagreements with the party, you're not forced to do this. It's still your choice. You can say no.
I can't. There's too much potential, too much opportunity. I've had ideas about the way the world works, and I'm being asked to keep them up, have them upheld by my actions. I'm asked to go and find beacons of magical potential whose locations are lost to the ages. This isn't something I can just walk away from. This is...
Then it's up to you to find a way to live with everything that comes with it, isn't it?
I'm perfectly fine with how I'm living with it.
Hmm.
It seems him needs to stick the feet in the door. If he wants to make amends, fine. I'm not above working towards something like that. It would make my life a lot more convenient, frankly. But I haven't the faintest of what his actual intention is. If it's just to make me miserable, like it's been all the times before, just this time there's something important going on during the dealings. I don't know why he decided to come along here. I have clear interests, hobbies, goals, aspirations.
Perhaps you just don't understand his. You always were very, very different children. You've grown into very different adults. Maybe it makes sense that there's a lot of misunderstandings and uncrossing paths.
I understand
I
your
don't-
concern, Auntie.
I just don't like seeing my family at odds. Inevitable as it sometimes might be. Well, I'll keep my nose out of it as well. Just try not to freeze him into an ice sculpture. I remember hearing about those plans.
You're...
I'll go and talk to him and ask him not to shove his way in, but I do want the two of you to watch each other's backs. He's grown up. You don't have to be the one taking care of him anymore necessarily. You can return the favor, if ever you need it. Just keep that in mind for me. Alright?
seen him do it yet, but I'll keep it in mind.
Perhaps he just hasn't had the opportunity. I don't know. I haven't been there for your entire journey, and I'm probably not going to go with you as it continues, so who knows what could happen.
As the final last hurrah, did I tell you he has a girlfriend?
Oh? Really? Oh, does he?
Well, I think they've had 2 dates, but it's a scribe from this is the player blanking because we're not on the world map.
Soren. Soren.
Is she from Soren?
The town of Soren, next to Soren
Yes,
Wood.
because she was in the library from the family who was with the lady with the owl. Okay, yep. Just a young girl in Soren. She
Oh,
kind of stumbled across her, me as well. Our trip there at a check at the library.
well, I could have some interesting conversations with him in the future then.
Me telling you this is the alternative to an ice sculpture. If I say you should, I should mention you shouldn't say those things to me. It's like dangling meat in front of a gator, asking it not to roll around.
Can't say I've ever experienced dangling meat in front of a gator, but I understand your point.
If you'd like to later, I can give you a demonstration.
That is an intriguing proposition. But maybe another time. And, I'll try not to be too specific with the things that I forbid you again. Well, forbid. You are an adult, it doesn't really count, does it?
I still care for what you say, Auntie, even if there's some things I don't understand.
Then, last thing. Try to appreciate the people around you for the things that they can bring and not the things that, may frustrate. Everybody's got at least a little bit of the good side to them.
Some more than others, I guess.
Isn't that the way of the world? Be out of balance otherwise, wouldn't it?
Yes,
She's
but
gonna head out the door, unless you call for her.
just as she goes, like, if I didn't know any better, I'd say Kane's tilting the boat a significant degree. She walks back into the library.
That's your job, isn't it? She heads up the hallways, probably meets Kane and the others coming back, given the length of the conversation. Alright. Alsana, as you check your weather forecast, perhaps to your excitement, you see heavy clouds and a flash of lightning in the little icon on your hand.
She's in a better mood.
It seems like it'll be fairly brief, but heavy, and then it goes to just clouds and maybe a peak of sun, and then kind of on and off again, rain throughout the loop of icons for the day.
She kind of like lets the lightning from the little icon like dance across her fingers.
As you do so, you and pretty much everybody else is there in these hallways, kind of heading towards that room next to the iron doors. You might be approaching it at the very least when you run into Adelaide. Let's say about there-ish.
Sorry.
You see the room
there.
that had the yellow... Oh, yep. Yeah, about there. Let's go ahead and have a round of perception checks just for how accurate. What the hell? We'll throw Adelaide in there. That's
Why am I at
wisdom.
advantage?
Ooh.
Is
It's a
Alsana
4.
in that area
It's a
now,
4.
or because she's more back at the library?
Ouch.
What was it?
Alsana's a bit more back at the library. Is that still a perception check?
Yeah, it's an encompassing thing. Everybody can do perception. So
Guidance
call
of
this a
that,
4.
or-
Nope, it's it's not quite passive. I just wanted to see numbers.
All right.
It's catching the ears. So a couple of 16s. Adelaide hears it very well. Ilaris and Calda not so much. So Kane and Alsana, everybody hears this rumbling sound and these crashing noises. It sounds like maybe that thunderstorm is rolling in general. Alsana and Kane notice that it seems a bit more loud and immediate than just thunder well overhead rolling in, muffled as it should be by stone and earth over your heads.
Alsana double checks the weather. It's like, it shouldn't be starting this soon, should it?
Yep. And Adelaide, in the hallway facing the rest of you, stops short, looks around, cocks her head, and mutters,
What's wrong?
That's not thunder. That came from in here.
Oh,
Has anyone
Sana's
checked
gonna-
upstairs or downstairs yet?
I think it's back this way.
Sana's gonna lean
She
out the
starts-
corner, look around.
Heading this way. You look around. You look up the hall to see Adelaide entering this room way up there, looking around, cocking her head, and just then you hear another rumble, this time louder. This time everybody's aware that that's not overhead thunder. That is the crack and crash of stone, and then suddenly a of water
From which direction?
from behind the iron doors.
The well.
Can we see water seeping out beneath the,
oh fuck.
Do a perception check. 11? Don't see any water seeping out from underneath the door.
I just glance out like,
Also, as a small thing, just Alsana will have prepared detect magic today.
Okay. Adelaide goes over to the doors, and she puts a hand on the handle of one, looks around at the rest of you.
Alsana
And
backs
as-
up and Grip pulls Calda onto the broom.
Alright,
And
as
floats
quickly
him
as
out
she
and
can,
look up.
she pulls the door open and to the side, and everybody looking in the room, you see for an instant there's new rubble all over the floor around the stone,
Whoa.
dirt. There's water splashed everywhere, and crouching on the lip of the well, just teetering on the edge and just lifting its head to look at you, there is a being made entirely of stone. It's large, it's draconic in shape, but not a dragon. And it looks around at you and then dives down into the well. And you hear
What?
shrieks from beneath.
What the hell is that?
what's
That's-
beneath it?
And
Look over here.
Adelaide creeps in, peers very carefully down the well.
Alsana
You
looks in
see
with Elmira.
anybody peering in, you see that the water that was in the well is gone. The bottom of the well seems to have been torn open into almost a tunnel, and you see light, almost daylight, underneath. Glance up, and you see that the bottom has been torn. The bottom of the upper well has been torn out as well, and you can see very faint, gray, cloudy light there. And from beneath, you hear another shriek and roar. And everybody peering into the well from the edge, like leaning over, go ahead and do a quick dexterity save as something suddenly darts into view and rushes past. Adelaide is fine. Ilaris is fine.
Alsana and
Kate-
Calda are floating up.
Yep, and you guys
Yeah.
are pulled out of range. Everybody dodges, jumps back as this thing, this gray thing of stone, suddenly hurtles upwards, faster than anything made of stone should ever fly, and disappears into the upper well. And Adelaide looks around at the rest of you and says, "Isn't the shrine up there?"
Yes, as far as I know, this is directly below it.
Oh,
Adelaide turns on her heel and starts to run.
How good of a look did Alsana get at the thing that just came by and the thing that dived in?
Go ahead and do let's call it a perception check, just to see how many details you might have picked up otherwise.
18.
18. 4 limbs, clawed, long tail, 2 wings, bat-like, a head that seems to have at least some horns, a mouthful of teeth, and deep-set, sunken-in eyes that glimmered with a kind of magical light.
Alsana knows the word I'm thinking of, right?
Probably. There's a handful of words you could be thinking of.
Starts with a G.
There's a couple of words that could be thinking of.
And ends with an argoyle.
Yeah, you're familiar with that. Go ahead and do a quick nature check on top of it, just to see if you've got the word.
I'm doing guidance on that
Sure.
one at least.
Sure. You're thinking about it as you run. 24 plus
25.
25. As you guys are running up the through the hallways, probably up the stairs and through the secret door past startled individuals, you can hear the crashes and sudden shrieks from the area of the shrine outside. You're thinking, and you're going, gargoyle? Is it a gargoyle? And you're thinking, no, that didn't look like any gargoyle you've ever seen an illustration of. If it was a gargoyle, somebody took major artistic liberties with the shape of the stone. But gargoyles typically are formed out of magic itself. They're not actually shaped. So either something really weird happened with the process, or it's something else.
We saw a stone dragon looking thing on the shrine on the way here, and like that place on the way here, right? Did that look familiar, or if I got a good look at it, would I recognize it from when we fought off those stone things and the harpies?
Sure. Go ahead and do kind of a hindsight perception check, kind of like I had Alsana do as you were running. I'm going to go ahead and move you guys to a map because we're about to have a fight. 19. It wasn't exactly the same. The general shape, yes, is similar, but there were details slightly different. Regardless, everybody on the map, you are on the right-hand side, having just entered the gate into the garden. Perching on the lip of the well, you see this creature of dark stone. Elaris, if you could join, and I'll get Adelaide on there. She's actually...
Make sure she rolls initiative this time.
Yep. Adelaide is actually up in front because she's got foot speed beyond you guys, but she held back a little bit for your sake, and so she didn't get separated too much. As everybody bursts in through the gate, you see this thing open up its mouth, and in a not a voice, but as if the vocal cords were just gravel grinding against one another, you hear this awful grating sound emit from its throat. And at that point, we're going to go ahead and roll some quick initiative as I get the tracker up.
Oh boy.
And we get this started.
Oh, I thought that was one for a second.
I am rolling Adelaide's initiative first, so there we go. And this guy...
That is an 8.
It's not good.
Numbers.
At this point, Calder's just yelling at Alsana, put me down, put me down, put me down!
Oh, if Alsana wanted off before... sorry, if Calder wanted off before this, she would have let her
Yeah.
off.
Sure. Yeah, you had a moment before initiative. This isn't a surprise round by any means.
Alsana's 20 feet in the air, Calder can do whatever she wants.
Yep.
Yeah, Calder hopped off before she went 20 feet in the air.
Okay. There should be music.
In combat music, I meant.
Yeah, standard battle mix. That one just has a slow start, sorry.
Okay.
Alright, let's go ahead and sort this descending. There we go. It looks like Calda is up first, +1 to initiative. Nice.
Woo!
Alright. Calda, you're up.
All
what would you like to do?
Bonus action. We're gonna... I don't want to lose concentration on that too soon. Okay. Go up here 25 feet. Get the greatsword out. Bonus action. Fuck, that's within 10 feet of me. I can't do it. Shoot, I didn't realize that was 10 feet of me. I'm sorry. For now, since I'm pretty up close, I'm just gonna use a first level spell slot and Shield of Faith myself. Just to get it the AC up to 19.
Alright. Okay. After your turn, you hear another sound emitting from inside the well. There's an echo. and it's this strange little noise.
Oh no. Methods.
You can hear scrabbling from inside the well, as emerging just then to the top, you see a very small green dragon.
Ah, even worse.
Oh.
It gets out onto the ledge. I'm going to say that on its turn, that's pretty much the entirety of its movement just to get there. It cannot reach anybody. It probably spent its action flying and scrabbling up. But you see that curled at the lip of the well, green scales glistening and eyeing the lot of you as it turns its head back and forth. It's small for a dragon. It's smaller than this stone thing in front of you, but oh, whoops! I did the wrong thing. Oh well. Let me adjust that. That
I
should
didn't
have
do my
been
action.
further
I'm
back.
dumbass.
Oh yes, do your action. Let me scooch this where it needs to be because I accidentally put it down there.
Sorry, dodge action. That's it.
All right, sounds good. Dodge action. Anything attacking you has disadvantage.
Yes.
Noted. That's over. Adelaide is up, and she has lots and lots of movement. She can get to there. She can get there. There. Where would you like her if she runs up ahead as a group? What do you want her? Where do you want her to go? What do you want her to hit? She's got 40 feet of speed.
40? Okay. I'm thinking probably up here then.
You want
Somewhere
her?
where it could be not a line or a
Okay,
easy way to
sure.
assault.
She can kind of race around. And I'm guessing 3 attacks on this thing, yes?
Yeah, try and get a stunning strike up.
Her attacks automatically, stuff like that, so yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Well, it's if it fails a thing. So we're gonna attempt a stunning strike on her first multi. Nope, that's not gonna hit anything. She swings out, but this thing is just a little faster, perhaps, or she slipped on the snow.
Fist hits and goes, ah!
Jesus Christ!
There we go. The
Ooh.
third one. Oh,
Nice.
the third one
Nice.
hits. The third one hits.
Alright.
Dear God.
Save,
Okay.
I guess.
Constitution save for
Con
stunning
save,
strike.
yeah.
I'm just imagining her like walking
let
up
me check.
and being and like punch, ouch, kick. There we go.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that is exactly what happened. Thankfully, this thing is not immune to stun. I just checked that, so let's have a con saving. Nope, it's fine. As this thing seems to have constitution for days and days and days.
Ooh.
You hear more shrieking and scrabbling from inside the well. This thing, honestly, it's got one target right now. It's probably going to go for that target. So, it is going to... That? Ooh,
Oh.
God.
Oh no.
Ouch. Ouch.
Adelaide looks
Alright,
hurt.
so most certainly
And
not
it's got
gonna work.
another, and that misses. As the second slam attack, she took the first one head on, she choked for an instant, and just barely managed to pull out of the way of the other. Alsana, you've
Oh, did
seen
you have my aunt?
I got her. Don't worry.
Alsana will kind of like clap her hands together and then like interlace them and just sparks going up and down the forearms until there's a little like bead of magic light that she lets out of her hands, floats up into the air, and hits the stormy conditions, if I'm correct.
Yes, they are
of the
stormy
dragon.
conditions. Mm-hmm.
So, gonna go ahead. First. Cast Call Light,
Okay,
and that would
we
be
have.
an extra d10.
All right. Do you want to angle that so that it hits both
Oh,
the stone and the... Okay. So that's 2...
Ooh.
Nice. 2 dexterity saving throws, 28
Nice.
lightning damage, or half. This is stony.
Depending on damage.
No.
Ooh.
And this is the green.
How's
Oh,
everyone?
the green was rolled to GM by accident, but it was a 5
Alright.
total. So,
Nice.
Alsana is going to drop some Harvest Scythe on the baby. On the green.
okay. Okay, specifically on the green. Let's have that.
Let's
Target
do...
specific or just to the damage on one spell?
No, it's when you deal damage to a creature. With a spell.
Okay.
So, how many would you like to drop?
Let's go 2.
Nice, another 17 points.
So total of 45.
Yep.
Yes, 45.
Oh, that is looking extremely hurt. It is barely holding on. In fact, it's kind of like draped suddenly with the force of the impact, barely holding on to the edge of the well, and it looks up and just
Alaris, the lizard! You'll fly over to...
Elaris, you're up.
Yeah. I'm gonna try and go for the lizard.
Okay.
With the scaly boy.
Mm-hmm.
Sharpshooter. Hopefully, it's not a super high AC. Ah, fuck.
It's
Alright.
higher than 10, unfortunately.
Yeah. Go for another shot.
Roll
Not
the...
sharpshooter.
you want...
this time.
I was gonna say, you want to roll the dice in Sharpshooter?
Right. So not sharpshooter for the second?
Yeah.
Alright, let's see it. 19 hits, and how do you want to do that?
Yeah, I wanted to get up on its hind legs and try to scare off with a roar, and then I want to get it.
Alright, it's feeble, it's hurt, but it thinks in its tiny baby brain, threat display. Threat display will solve everything. So it tries to rear itself up on the stone. It's wobbling, it spreads its wings, it takes a breath in to maybe roar, maybe try a breath weapon. You don't know what these things are capable of at this age. And just thunk right into its chest, and it teeters and falls backwards into the well.
Lizard down!
Ear squawks from below. I'm just going to scoot that back here. Actually, let's just leave it there. All right. Anything else on your turn?
Let's see here. What can I do as a bonus action? I will, as a bonus action, I'm going to, yeah. Let's hex the frickin' stone boy.
All right. So we've got a ordinary hex on there, so a d6 additional damage to every attack you make on him. Every attack you get, rather. All right. Action, bonus action. Any movement, or are you good right there?
Oh, Lars is good where he is. He's
All right. Kane, you're also good. What would you like to do?
But
Yeah, I know, it's terrible.
Have you not subject us to enough puns? Come on.
Never.
yeah.
But not good
Just
enough.
gonna use his action. But I'm just
Alright.
use his action to sprint over there, and that'll be all.
Okay. This close to the well, you hear a lot more shrieking and scrabbling and squawking. You can't get a bead on how much is going on, but something's going on down there. Calda, it's back to you.
Okay. Come up beside Adelaide, 15, lay on hands to her.
All right, very nice. So plus 15.
And then bonus action, because I want to remember to do this early. Vow of Enmity.
Okay. Creature you can see, that'd be the one. And you gain advantage on attack rolls for 1 minute. Oh, nice. Or until it drops to 0 or falls unconscious. So advantage on Beastie. Stone
Yep.
Beastie. Very, very nice.
Yep.
Right.
And that's all I can do, but I remembered to do it early this.
That little guy is gone. Adelaide's turn. She's going to attempt another 3 attacks and stunners on each one that hits. That hits, so let me go ahead and pop damage on and see how the stun works. It does not work. She will attempt it again. That hits for not nearly as much damage, And
Stun.
stun attempt, no. Final strike hits. She is making up for that terrible first round. Ooh, it's stunned. Guys, it is stunned until the end of Adelaide's next turn. Everything has advantage on this thing at the moment.
Fuck it up.
Yep. Alright.
John, is that why you told her to do that?
Because he really, really wanted to say a thing. Unfortunately,
That's absolutely why I got it this time.
after her turn, but before the dragons, another little green wormling comes up, and this one had enough time scrambling to have an action left. And it's got, 15-foot cone. As it inhales and then sprays a green cloud out towards Adelaide and Calder. DC 11 Constitution save, you're good. You take half that damage, so 5. Adelaide makes it barely, so 5 points of poison damage.
Shield of Fate's gone.
Alright, thank you for checking that.
You're welcome.
That is going to be it for the little dragon's turn. This thing is stunned. Alsana, easy pickings.
Alright.
Automatically fails dex save, so if you
Yeah,
want to
it
do
does.
another point of lightning somewhere, I
just-
think it does have to strike the ground, but so you might have trouble angling it to hit both the dragon and the stone thing
Let me double
without
check.
also hitting Adelaide.
Um,
Actually, you can hit it there. That square right there, 5 feet, 5 feet,
Yep.
10 feet. So
Alright.
you've got it.
Okay. First of all, bonus action is going to on Auntie.
All right, healing word for another 8 points. Very good. She's looking a lot better.
And now let's come around. Be wonderful. Lightning. She's going to drop. Let's see. Well, first 1d10 additional. Let's see how that does. 20 total.
20 total.
You know what? 2 more on the other little shit.
All right, that one needs to do the dexterity save because it's
Oh, yeah.
not
Well, yeah, I got-
frozen.
Yeah, I'll look at it save.
It makes the save, so it takes a
So it'd be
total of
taken
10.
I decide it when the damage is being dealt.
Okay,
So yeah, then in that case, she'll put 1 on the big stone guy instead.
okay. Harvest Scythe.
Ooh.
10. Very nice.
So that's 30 to the guy in the middle, and I believe 10 to the little one.
Okay. Yeah, the stone one is starting to look kind of rough. Kind of on the rough side. Elaris.
Alright, stun for advantage.
Yes.
Alright, sharpshooters. But first, before any of that, we are also going to drop I'm also going to drop a Hexblade's Curse.
Has to be within 30 feet.
Oh, fuck. Okay.
You can
Um,
move up. Just make sure you
Yeah, I'll move up.
yourself.
Yeah, we're at... Okay. So... I think
30 feet of this, you gotta be about there-ish on that level.
Yeah.
Alright. Right next to a raised garden bed.
Yes. So then I will do... Yeah, I'll do the Hexblade's Curse, and then I'll, 2 sharpshooter shots.
Okay. So you get 3 bonus to damage rolls, plus your 1d6 from Hex.
Yep.
So let's have that. Oh! Yes.
Oh, that's gonna
Very
be fun.
good. Very, very good. Alright, roll 2d6
Yes.
for the one, and 1d6 for the other, because an 18 does hit.
Damn.
Yeah. 16 plus
Plus 6 on top of all of that.
plus 19 plus 6 on top, yes. Plus another 10. You just dealt 56 damage between the 2 shots. This thing is looking really bad, but it's still up.
Who's up next? Kane?
Kane is up next.
Kane! Take it down!
Kane's actually gonna leave that for Calda, because he saw her use that ability, right?
Yeah, but it's stunned, so if you want to save it, you can. You can go around if you'd like.
He's gonna focus on the dragon first.
Sounds good. Go for it.
I just closed Kane's sheet. Please hold on.
All right.
I hate having non-functioning hands.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's gonna be 2 shots on the green dragon because there is Calda and Adelaide attacking the stone dragon. There we go. Right. So
Unfortunately, that's not one.
Yep.
That will hit. 11 slashing damage. Alright. Sword of Thorns bites into it. Ooh, nice. Let's have that wisdom saving throw. It is not frightened, but it does take the extra 1 damage.
Alright. Just measure my movement one more time. Yeah, I got 5 more. Please.
Okay. Alright, anything else in your turn?
Actually, I'm gonna stay where I was right there. That'll be all.
Okay. After your turn, the scrabbling sounds inside the well grow louder, and you see another of these little buggers pop up. Let's see. Yeah, it's going to aim a cone that blasts... Oh! Let's see, can it angle it to get all 3 of you?
Yeah, it's 90 degree cones.
Yeah, one of those dragons is also taking collateral.
However,
They're immune to poison.
they're immune to poison.
Immune to poison?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oof.
Yep. So that's another 25 poison damage this time. DC 11. Constitution save. Let me get Adelaide's in here.
Plus something
Good
for
is
Adelaide.
good.
Calda.
Adelaide is not good. Adelaide takes all of that. The rest of you take...
No, Conrad is good.
Yeah. That's gonna be the thing for the entire campaign. So, Kane and Calda, you take 12 points of damage. Adelaide takes the full 25. She starts hacking and coughing and doubling over a little bit from what just occurred. At that point, there's more scrabbling. This one would have to dash, but it can get up as one more. One more gets up there. And you see it clinging to the lip of the well, looking around at everybody and hissing. Calda.
Calda's gonna just put... Fuck, she can't put a hand on Adelaide's chest. She's too short. She's gonna try to put a hand on like Adelaide and just... Step back for a bit. I got this. I'll come back and heal you. You're good. You're good.
No, I got this. I'm good.
Okay. Alsana, you may need to get your aunt
butt
soon.
out of there.
Thank you! Okay, bonus action, boop!
Alright.
And on the Dragon Boy, it's double advantage.
It is.
1, 2.
Very
But-
good. Alright, so 24 damage.
Does the second one even
Very-
necessary?
Very rough. Very
Do I
rough.
want to? Do I want to?
Do it.
Do I want to?
Do it. Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do
Do
it.
it.
Yeah.
Do it.
9 radiant
Fine
damage.
day.
It takes it. It's not down yet.
Damn it.
But
Fuck!
it's close.
You got
it's
this, Auntie?
close.
Very close. Take it on.
I've got this. And at that, yeah, let's just have her punch a few times. She's got advantage because this thing is stunned until the end of her turn. Stun is great.
Just keep starting.
That hits,
First one is just
and
knocked
that
prone.
takes it.
Oh, okay.
That takes it. Perfect.
So she's got 1 attack left.
Auntie, get out of here.
But if you guys insist, then she will pull back. She'll only pull back a little ways. She's keeping close just in case you guys actually need her. She looks like she's about half. She's about half health. In case anybody wants
Does
to worry.
the Hexblade's curse
Yeah, you heal.
Also have
Oh yes.
noise. Not that I really needed it, but hey,
Yeah. Yeah, you haven't been hit by anything
Yeah.
yet.
didn't really take damage yet.
With that, we've got this little guy who has already used his poison breath. Let me see if he recharges that. He does not. So he's gonna go ahead and try to take a chomp out of you, Kane. That's an 11. That misses. With that, looking around, he's gonna decide that maybe discretion's the better part of valor and try to fly straight upwards. You do get an opportunity attack.
Alright.
It is not advantage, so make sure that's turned off from last beating up the Stony.
Oh, I didn't hit the Stony.
Oh, okay.
Damn it.
Unfortunately, that does miss, so you swing as this thing flies upwards a good, Oh, it's gonna do its full 60-foot fly speed. It is up in the air, beyond the boughs of the tree. I'm just putting him up there just so that I remember he's up high. Actually, I'll just 60. There we go. I typed it in this little circle. So, he is getting away. Alsana, it's your turn.
So he's about 60 feet in the area,
Yes, he is.
and that's the tiny one that was hurt before?
Yeah, he's been hit.
Alright, she'll just make the call lightning point on him.
Okay. That is a dexterity saving throw on his part.
Oof.
She'll
He
drop
makes the
some,
save.
she'll drop one harvest scythe on it, just in case.
Okay. Do you have the extra d10 yet?
What do you mean? Oh, no.
For using the storm.
Good point. Yes.
So, okay. So
Yeah.
that's 29 and another 9. 38 halved. Oh wait, only one of them's. Oh wait. 29 halved, 30, 15, plus another 9 for the hex thing. No,
No, there's no...
sorry.
Okay.
Harvest
hex
sight.
18 plus 30 half.
15. Oh yeah.
No, it's
That's
all the
perfect.
same damage. It's all the same
It's all the
damage.
same. Yeah, 38 halved is 19. It's 19.
Is it still up?
It is still flying. It's still flying, but
Alright.
it's real bad looking.
Let's see. Much else? You know how nearby is it?
60 feet straight up in the air.
All right.
It was like over the well, so yeah, 60 feet.
So 60 feet in the air, and
Yeah.
then the horizontal is.
The height is greater than the horizontal, so non-Euclidean, you just take 60.
Yeah, but it's not any further than 60 from her.
No.
All right, then she'll get right up to it.
All right. That broom has the 60-foot fly speed, or is it 50?
Is it 50 or? Hold on, I thought.
Double check that because
I'm
my brain
relatively
is
sure it's 50.
confused.
It's 50. Never mind.
All right, you can get within 10 feet of it if you really want to.
Yep. Okay. We'll get over to near there then.
All right. Alsana
And-
has taken off into the sky, chasing the one runaway dragon.
But while she's at it, what's the range? That's 60, and she's 50 in the air right now. So on Auntie again.
All right. That works. Another 5 hit points regained by Adelaide. All right. Would that be all?
That will be it.
Alaris.
How bad is this boy over here looking?
Pretty bad.
Alright, I have a 400-foot range with sharpshooter, so,
Mhm.
Maybe don't
Just-
sharpshooter it.
on principle. Sharpshooter is sharpshooter, but like, yeah.
Repeat. It lets you have that just passively. So,
Yeah. So, yeah, we're just gonna go skeet shooting with this dragon over here.
mhm.
Well,
Miss.
Oh shit. Okay.
And miss.
That also misses. Ugh. Max damage
The first
too.
one,
That
the
sucks.
first one you were pretty sure was dead on, but he happened to like do this weird little flap and duck with an air current with the storm, and your shot just missed barely. The second shot, something went wrong with the firing mechanism. It just went twing, jumped off the end of the crossbow and hit the ground
Fuck!
like 5
Alright.
feet in front of you.
Fuck. Alright.
All right, will that be all?
Let's see. What else do I really have that I can do right now? Yeah, I think that'll be all.
Okay. Kane.
Alright. I will shift position
Okay.
and 2 more strikes with the sword.
All right. 18 hits.
Alright.
13 slashing damage. Very good. Very good.
Nine.
Mm-hmm. Your second attack? Is it
Up
coming?
is- Sorry, I was just debating
Okay.
dice. That's okay. Alright, second one. There we go.
There we go. That hits as well for 10 slashing damage.
Just shift here. And... no, I'll leave that one be. That would be all for now.
All right. This little guy's turn. He used his breath. Let's see if he recharges. He does not. Oh, let's see what's decision-making time. Actually, he's going to look around. He's going to see the dead body of the one next to him. He's going to see one trying to fly away, and he is actually going to also take off into the air, flying at full speed. So he actually gets to 120 feet up and away
Stormcloud
in
is
a different
100,
direction.
but
Yeah. He's flying a little bit more at an angle, not straight up. He's going outwards as well.
yeah, basically his altitude can get like above 100 feet without it being obscured and shocky.
All right, he's flying under the level, 100 feet up, but 20 feet out, probably. So 100 feet up, and he's making his getaway. This one, not so simple, but he does have one blast of poison breath. In desperation, he's going to turn it just on Kane. So that's a DC 11 con save. You're good. You're fine. You are perfect. Take half of the 17, round down 8 points of poison damage. And, yeah, this one, seeing the decision-making process being made by the others, is also going to try to fly away. You have a reaction if you'd like to use it, Kane. It misses, unfortunately. This one has used its action. It can only get 60 feet up. It's flying off of that away. So 60 feet up and kind of going actually this direction, off to the square. I'm going to move him back over here, his body. All right, so they're starting to scatter to the winds. Calda, everything right now is about 60, 100 feet in the air. But you give a listen, and you do hear just a little bit more chatter, skr, and scrape inside the well, pretty close to the surface of the well.
Alright, she's just gonna go, there's more coming! Step back, and 10 more lay on hands to Adelaide.
Okay. Let me go ahead and plus 10. She's looking a lot better.
Yep, and then just with the last 10 feet, bop here.
Okay.
And then no bonus action, we're good.
All right. And at
Can we
that,
have Adelaide covering the well just in case something comes up?
something came up right before you could have Adelaide move in, as
Yep.
this bursts up through the center of the well, flies upwards a little bit, surveys the battlefield. It's running siblings, cousins, and Let's see, what's fun to a young dragon just entering the world? Sure, it's gonna kind of swoop down here. It's gonna look at Elaris, who's kind of taken nothing so far. And it's gonna very quickly blast a poison breath in Elaris' direction. DC 11 con save. Alright, you make the save. You only take 10 poison damage.
Yep.
It swoops slightly upwards, but it's only like 10 feet up with its remaining movement. So 10 feet up off the ground, easily within anything but melee range to ground-bound fighters at the moment. Which means that Adelaide right now does not have anything within easy reach. She does have darts which can go long range to a maximum of 60 feet. She could attempt to hit a 60-foot thing, or she could attempt to throw at this thing without the disadvantage of long range.
Maybe have her throw at that thing and get close to the well.
Yep, she's going to, she'll scoot about there. Kind of up on the steps of the well, where this crumbled stone thing is. That's 15 feet away from that. 10 feet up, still good. So it's simple range, and she's going to throw 3 darts at it. That's a 1, 2, and 3. That would be a hit, and miss. So 12 piercing damage, but the darts are not magical. So it does less. Oh no, wait, I was thinking of the wrong thing. It does the full 12. My bad. It was the stone guy that would have been bad to aim at the darts at. Alright, that is her turn. This guy is the one next to Alsana, 10 feet from Alsana. And, let's see if he regains... He does not regain his breath weapon. That in mind, he is going to focus on nothing but getting away. He peels out, still keeping... he might go up to the maximum of 100 feet, so that's 40 feet of his movement, and peels another 20 feet forwards.
Okay.
So he is, pretty much well out of your immediate reach at the moment.
No, he isn't.
Alright.
Alsana's gonna float about, like, 10 feet to the side, 10 feet up. And go ahead and drop a bolt on that one that's flying to the north.
Alright, I'm pretty sure it can't survive. Actually, give me another d10. Let's see this. It makes the save, however, it is still, as it dodges the aftershock and the side electricity, runs over and you hear, "Ah!" It falls and crumples its wings, folding around it to just across the ground far below.
She's got about 40 feet. Can she get over to about here?
She used 40 feet, you've got 50-foot flies. No, wait, you used about 20 feet.
Yeah, well...
10 up, 10 over, 10 foot. You use 10 foot, you can get a... Yeah, sure. You can get about there, but note that, yeah, it's about the same altitude. Okay, you're good.
Yep, and just, pull out her scimitar that she rarely uses.
Okay.
And... how's Auntie looking?
She's looking fine. A little bit beat up, little bloody, but mostly fine.
She's not using these for much right now. One more.
Alright. You hear her call, "Save it for yourselves, I'm fine!" Is that all?
To kind of like look around annoyed and just yell at everyone else. Just like, make sure any more that come out don't get out. And that'll be your turn.
Alright, Elaris,
Alright.
yeah, you've got range and all sorts. There's something just in front of you, only 10 feet up. There's something further out, 100 feet up. Alsana's on top of something that's about 60 feet up.
The one to the south is in the most threat of getting away, right?
Probably. He's the furthest up, and the furthest out.
I'm gonna try and go for the one that's furthest out.
Okay.
Because I can reach him.
Yep.
22.
That hits. 9 piercing damage.
And then I'm gonna save one, and then I'm gonna use one bolt for the one directly in front of me.
Okay,
26 with 15
that hits.
damage.
Nice. 15. Looking hurt, but still up. Anything else?
Okay. No. I think I'm good for now.
All right, Kane.
Alright, so... do I hear any more scrabbling, or will I take an action to check?
You don't hear any more scrabbling. I didn't make a call to check, so...
Okay. Alright, drop the shield, bonus action, switch to the short bow, which has range of 80. How far away is this one again? 120?
He's...
The middle.
Yeah, he's about 100 feet up, which is the greater distance at the moment.
Alright,
So-
in that case... Yeah, that one's up to Alaris. And I'm gonna go Owl Soul short bow on the one next to Alsana.
Okay. It's a good 60 feet, so you're good.
That
That
I think.
misses. Yep.
There we go.
That hits 4 piercing damage.
On that one, I am going to... Never mind, those are all melee. Yeah, no one needs repositioning.
Wait.
Still do extra damage though.
Yeah, for the amount it's going to do, it might not be worth it. So I'm going to...
I will say we need as much DPS right now as we can. There doesn't seem to be
Yeah.
anything else going out. We're making sure these things
Yeah.
don't fly off into the world.
No, I know, but the ones I can actually do damage with are things like Frighten and Push, which will push it out of your range.
But they're melee, right?
Frighten still works with range.
Yeah, frightened just means they're gonna run, which they're already doing.
Yeah. And that already has a chance of failing, but you might as well sunk cost him.
In that case, I'll reposition Ally just to get called a bit of movement if she chooses to use it.
Thank you.
All right.
And yeah.
So it takes another 7.
Yeah.
How much of my
Yep.
movement is that again?
Half.
Up to half your speed.
Half.
I'm going to say,
25.
yeah, generous, let's say 15. It's player's favorite, might as
Alrighty.
well be. Round up to
Boop.
half.
Then I'm going to action surge
Mm.
and 2 more on the one next to Alsana.
All right.
There's the one
I'm gonna
behind
have
you
to.
as well.
Yes, but alright, when does that one's initiative go? Calder can get within melee. Sorry, can get within
He's in
reach
the
of
air.
that one.
He's in the air.
She has 10 for reach. She needs to.
Yeah,
It's only 10 feet up.
Mhm.
Yeah, so
yeah, that one's pretty close. 10 feet, so easy.
same one as before.
All right, hits. 3 piercing damage.
And
Noted.
on the one between Alaris and Calda,
Mm-hmm.
that
Misses.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that's most of my arrows.
Okay. All right. Anything else on your turn?
Nope, I think that's all I got. Actually, I'll move a touch.
Okay.
Just over it. Right here.
Okay. Just on the other side of the great tree behind the well.
Yep.
All right. At this point, this one is going to continue flying, and it's going to bolt its entire 120-foot dashing fly speed. So it is actually now... it was about 20 feet out before, plus 120. It's now 140 feet out. That is the greater measure than 100. Anything ranged, 140 feet. From, let's say from there. So it's off the edge of the map from there.
Alright.
That is, we're gonna see if it regains a breath weapon. It does. How do I roll a 3 every single time?
I'm not complaining, given the last session.
No, I'm not complaining. I'm just amazed. The hell? I might just roll a handful of d6 after this combat just to see what's up.
Just do like 3d6 right now, just for fun.
I don't know if it's this clicker though or not. You know. No, those are
Yeah,
buried.
you're
None of them
fine,
are
you're
threes. We're good. It's fine. It is going to attempt to do the same and just scramble with a dash. Alsana, feel free to make that attack of opportunity.
Yep, probably not gonna hit, but we'll see. Nope.
No, that does miss. It is now 120 feet off the edge of the map itself. And out of your reach.
For now.
For now. Calda, you've got something 10 feet up. It's within poking distance with a stick.
Yeah, so Calda's gonna go up melee because she's short. She's gonna stow the great sword, take out the glaive, and take 2 little pokes. 1, 2.
Oh, such little pokes. 11 and
Jesus.
14, 25. How would you like to do this one?
Skewer it.
Yeah, you swing the first one and it slices across its chest, and then you kind of spin the glaive over your shoulder, bring it around, and just skewer straight through.
Iguana on a stick.
Yeah, you've got a dragon on a stick now. And that was that one's turn, so you stopped it from doing anything. Anything else with your movement? With your turn?
No, I have nothing reach. Like, or range.
Yep. Yeah, Adelaide is going to spend her turn peering down the well, ascertaining nothing else is coming up, looking at those escaping, kind of swearing a moment, and starting to run towards the entrance, saying, "Do what you can, I'm gonna go and tell somebody!" So she's gonna pretty much dash out of there. That one is off the tracker, it's dead. Alsana, you're about 120 feet away from the one it's getting away. Where exactly is your, okay, 50 feet movement?
Yep.
Where exactly is your storm cloud? 60-foot radius. It is outside of that call lightning radius, I believe.
Okay, I was reading. I don't think that matters.
Really?
I'll-
Make a storm cloud. Choose a point you can see within range when you cast the spell.
It's basically you need space to put it.
Okay.
I see nothing that says you need it to be within. Like the range is from. Because when you cast the spell, you choose a point you can see within range.
Within 100 feet directly above you. The range is
the second
120
paragraph.
feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at the second paragraph. When you cast a spell, choose a point you can see within range. However, when you make the storm cloud appear, you have to center it on a point you can see 100 feet directly above you. It's not 120 feet. All right.
Yeah,
So
but
is it one?
I don't see
Is
anything.
basically it's 120 of you?
Yeah. As far as I
Okay.
can tell, I don't see anything that says the target has to be within range of the cloud.
Okay.
And considering she's basically controlling the storm and might just be moving with her,
Yeah.
I think the beginning is just
yeah.
you need a place to put it rather than it needs to be connected.
Okay. Have you got that extra D10 on there?
No, I do not.
Go ahead and.
Would
Oh, it failed. Add that extra D10, please, for
Alright,
existing storm.
I'm gonna probably throw either scythe one way or the other.
Okay.
4d10.
All right. How would you like to do this?
Just I want her to just like send out a crack of lightning that just arcs across the sky and has the vague form of some sort of figure with a scythe that just drags across the back and the little dragon goes flying down into the ground.
Okay. With that one vanquished, there's only one left. I did the math. It is actually 105 feet off the edge of the map. So add to that whatever your distance is to that edge.
Okay, at this point, do we want to just rotate between Alaris and Alsana? Because they're the only ones who can really do anything right now.
It depends on how close you can get. Alaris, go ahead and
400
your
foot range,
shot.
baby.
yeah, take your shot. Miss.
Fuck.
Hit. For 15 piercing damage. All right.
Yeah. And as the bonus action, I'll just fucking fuck it.
I think you have to do the bonus action beforehand.
You need to prep those
Yeah,
fights. If it's not a paladin's fight, you need to prep some.
Yeah.
Right.
If you
yeah,
want, you can say that's
do that.
prepped for next turn. If it's
Yeah,
still.
I'll say it's prep for next turn. Yeah.
All right, we'll keep that in mind. We'll still use that number.
Yeah.
Kane, you're pretty much watching it fly away. On its turn, it is going to continue to dash along. That adds another 120 feet. So,
Kane's got a
105
question.
plus 120, 225.
Before you're adding the distance, Kane's got a question.
Oh, Kane's got a question.
Yeah, can I not long range take a shot? I have 320 feet.
Oh,
320.
sure. Yeah,
321.
sorry, I didn't see that. Do the disadvantage long range. Sorry, I assumed you weren't part of it for some reason.
Yep, that's okay. I usually do melee anyways. Alright.
You've got the bow out.
Oh, that
That'll
hits.
hit. That hits.
Anything you got, man.
Yeah, I'm just reading over one of my things, don't worry. I'll give a reposition to Asana just in case she needs it.
All right.
But
You've got a reaction to do half your movement, 25 feet, Alsana. You are kind of off the edge of the map a little bit. I didn't calculate how much.
and also, by the way, on top of that, Orcish Fury, so I'm going to re-roll that damage dice. Or add additional damage dice.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
6 for short bows? Yes. Here goes additional 5.
So, 2 and 5, so an additional 7. Okay. It's looking like it's flagging out there.
And I got one more shot.
Okay.
Nah.
Nope. Unfortunate. All right. Anything else?
That is what I've got.
At
Actually,
that point.
second wind.
Okay. Yeah, at that point, it's flapping furiously, pulling ahead 225 feet off the edge of this map. Beyond the edge. Calda, I assume you don't have anything that can deal with that kind of range? I think Ty was lost for just a moment.
What's going out? My power is out.
Oh god.
Fuck. Yeah, no, my
Dragon-
lens flickered as
Ooh. Okay, we're gonna try our best. Dragon is flying away. I don't think Calda has long range, right?
No, my longest range is 60 feet. Whatever my hammers can do, I can't open my sheet
Yeah.
right now.
All right, Adelaide can't help
Yikes.
either. Alsana, you've got. Let's see. Where's my?
I moved her one down. She would have been down to here.
Okay, you've got 25 feet plus 225. You're 250 feet out when you get to there. Another 25 feet on top of that, 175. You're not within range of a lightning strike.
She's gonna just keep. She'll take the dash for another 50 feet.
Okay. 25, 50, 75 off the edge of the map. So you're 75 feet off the edge of the map, 225. You're 150 feet away from it at this point.
Okay, yeah. That will, for now, be her turn. She's keeping concentration. Can she roll any sort of, can she roll any sort of, like, perception or any skill roll to kind of get an idea of where it's intended to go? Does she know much about the lands and the map in the area to know what something like this might be desperately going for? If anything?
If you want to do like probability, it might be nature, just for what kinds of things green dragons tend to go for. If you're trying to figure out like specific heading right now, it might be survival.
She'll go nature. Just to
Okay.
see basically if she knows if there's anything in this direction.
All right,
on the
you'll
map
rack your
that is
brain.
a dragon hotspot.
Yep, you'll rack your brain. It might be a little more difficult than usual because you're not actually devoting an action to it,
Okay.
and no guidance because you
Yep,
used your
okay.
action to dash. So,
Nope. 10.
nope, not really.
Yep. Just move on. Okay, that's your turn.
All right, Ilaris, it's still within 400 feet.
Yeah, so we're gonna 2 regular shots, but one is and the one that hits is loaded up with a branding smite.
Yep, wait, with 18 extra damage if it hits. Neither of those hit. Your branding smite still is in reserve.
Yeah.
Can you move down more to give yourself that little bit more range?
Yeah, I'll do
How far
that.
can we move on foot past the bottom of the map?
There are other buildings and so forth in this compound. The dragon is definitely and you'd have to go out the gate and around this wall.
Okay, so
So it might cut
Fuck,
down on your
alright.
movement somewhat. I don't have anything hard and fast for that though.
basically, if you were to use this full movement to get just a little bit down past the bottom of the map, maybe
Where did you start out before you moved? You were about here?
he was there.
Yeah,
I was 10 feet from him.
Yeah,
Right here, yeah.
yeah. You can move back towards this gate, which would increase the distance initially. Moving right up to the wall, it is a fairly tall wall. You might be able to climb up it and get up onto it with your remaining 10 feet of movement. It's not quite how climbing works, but I'll allow it in this case. So if you want to be on top of the wall, you can. You just would have to then spend a little bit of movement, maybe a quick acrobatics check, because it's like a 10-foot wall
Yeah.
to jump down on your feet.
Yeah, I'll probably do that, yeah. Just get up on the wall.
Just a
For now.
idea. Can you stay on the wall?
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
At the very least, he won't have buildings cutting off his line of sight or anything.
Yeah, that's what my I thought.
Because the further away this dragon gets, it's not going up, it's going out. So that angle is getting a little bit more and more shallow in a sense. Slowly. Not enough at the moment to be a problem, but slowly. Kane, do you have anything you can do at a range of 40 plus 225 feet?
Yeah, I can still do disadvantage shots. My range is 320.
Alright. Yep, okay. So yeah, 365, and if you want to move up, you can. Okay. Disadvantage, let's have them.
Yep.
Miss, unfortunately, and miss. This little guy's turn, that adds another 120 feet to his distance. He is now 345 feet off the edge of the map. He is booking it.
Last chance alerts.
Yep. Calda's, Adelaide's. Alsana, are you still trying to kind of keep track?
A little bit, yeah. She's gonna slow down if she can. She's gonna take her action to basically try to parse out the thing she did last turn.
Okay,
Actually, no. This time she'll do just basically flight pattern and direction and navigation. So a survival.
survival. Okay, go ahead.
Was just so I'm not doing the exact same thing all over again.
Mhm.
23.
Much better.
Uh-huh.
All right. Yeah. Just from the frenzied motion, you think that the initial direction chosen was just plain away.
Mhm.
It was not anything with direction. There was no plan. It was just get out, get out, get out, get out. Go this way. However, as it's getting further and further away, and the shots are starting to miss more and more, you see it's starting to. It's still flapping really fast and hard. It's still a little frantic, but it seems to be starting to search the area, and it seems to be starting to bank. It started out going more southward. It's kind of continuing that heading, but it's starting to bank a little bit towards the mountains and the green smudge of a forest you can see in the distance.
Okay.
Mhm.
Makes sense.
Makes sense. Yeah.
Yep, that will
All
be
right. With that, Elaris, it's still within your range.
ridiculous range.
Fuck.
Yes.
Ridiculous
Barely.
400-foot range. This is what I'm here for.
It is just about to leave that range. That is a miss.
Come on.
That is
That's
a
a-
hit.
that's
How
a
would you
smite.
like to
Just
do this? How would you like to do it?
Just like a sniper. Just like I got him in my sights. I'm just like right through the back of the head.
Like one of those long distance, like critical hit shots in Skyrim with the animation.
Yeah,
And
just
you
like
the arrow through the air, and it seems to take so long between you pulling the trigger and you seeing the dragon in the distance suddenly jerk and falter and then drop
Yeah,
like a stone
and
to the ground.
then the branding smite, just like the bolt hits him, and then like the brand just burns onto him. So there's like a slight light to where to when I hit him. And
It's almost like you. It's almost like you turned it into a small firework far in the distance.
Is it glowing still? Like, does it have that bit of a glow?
It's probably letting off a little bit of light. Not a long-lived one because it is dead, but yes,
But basically, if
You
Olsana
can-
were to...
you
Okay,
can
got it.
pursue and retrieve.
Okay. Thank you.
You might have a bit of a struggle doing so alone and on your broom. These things are big. They're small for dragons, but they're like medium-sized creatures. They're
Okay.
probably on par with most of you,
Well,
bigger than
then,
Calda.
in that
But you
case-
can haul it up and make a slow flight back.
Okay. She might then just in that case, basically do her best to memorize the location, and just kind of grab some rope from her pack and tie the thing up, like to a
Alright.
nearby tree.
All right, so you kind of got it roped to a tree. They're a little more sparse in this particular area, mostly hills, but you've got one.
Ooh,
You
actually,
mark the
hold on.
location in your mind.
I have a better idea. It's pretty big. You said, like, what could you compare it to? Like a medium dog.
It's a medium-sized creature. It's a big dog.
Okay.
It's probably Oh, let's see. What's the actual size classification of, say, a mastiff in the games?
I think
Ugh.
it's medium.
Medium?
Yeah. Let's say that
Medium.
this is about on par with a large, like Saint Bernard or Mastiff or Great Dane, one of the big dogs.
Basically, how much trouble would a panther have dragging it back?
Probably not much. You would be going on foot, so it would feel like a greater distance just going up and down ridges, but you can do it. I mean,
Alright.
you can get it back, whether on the broom or whether in another form. It'll just take time.
Yep. Alsana will basically just send the broom over. She'll write a little note tagged to the broom and send the broom to Calda. And basically just have it say, "I found the body. I'll be bringing it back in a sec. Don't fear the panther."
That was like a 400-foot shot. Alara says to himself, like, wow.
I was gonna look at everyone and just be like, don't shoot the panther. Apparently it's Asana, I think.
Yeah, I get that.
As the panther drags the green dragon corpse back like a morbid duck hunt.
Hello, Asana, I think.
Yeah,
Takes several
I think
minutes, but yeah, you do get back. All right. Yeah, with that, the party reunites. Adelaide comes back with another couple of the residents of this compound area. Ascertains that you did actually get them all despite it, and oh, that would have been bad.
I sure would have been.
All right. Is anybody else hurt? Is everybody okay?
I'm alright.
The panther kind of like
I need
slides
it.
along
But
Adelaide's
okay.
leg.
Oh.
Haggard,
Oh, is
Bobby.
this you, Alsana?
Yes. At least I'm pretty sure.
I think so. She left a note saying, "Don't be afraid of the panther." So either she has a pet panther or it's Alsana.
Yeah.
And back to
I mean,
normal lady.
I think,
Quote unquote
yeah.
normal.
I'm pretty sure a panther dragging us over here and not mauling us to death is probably Alsana. Though I will say, a panther mauling Kane is about 50-50.
As she goes back to 2 arms and
Kane.
2 legs, she just spits out a green scale out of her mouth. She's like,
That had to be unpleasant. Kane,
Yeah.
not really. Hunters. I mean, some of us can always go to the river and fish a few things. There's a few who are handy with darts or small bows and can take down small game. Oh, arrows. I mean, there were some in that armory room downstairs. We could probably get a start on actually going through and sorting everything. Possibly there's more arrows there than we saw at first. Maybe some in good condition for all we know.
Does anyone here have an adeptitude for, alchemy, specifically in the poisoners' jurisdiction?
Well, not among us, but from
Alsana?
that reaction,
oh, I'm sorry, what? I didn't catch that.
I was interested in possibly harvesting the poison sacks from the dragons and turning them into useful the weapons that we have.
Oh, well, I mean, I've dabbled a bit. I know.
You think you can
I know
look
a thing
into
or
that?
two about corpses.
Yeah. I think that sounds like a good idea.
I can give an attempt, but also I might ask that we keep some of them a bit more, some of the more pristine
Intact?
ones intact. Because we could just, sell a nice pristine corpse of a young green dragon to
Of
a
course.
certain wonderful lady and have more than enough gold to buy a standard
Yeah.
vial of poison.
Turn a profit. Yeah, that sounds good.
Can also basically
well,
gather up and take survey of all the bodies.
sure thing. Is there anything in particular you're trying to do with them, or are you just trying to like get them all in one pile?
Yeah, basically in one pile for now.
Okay. Kane, are you helping out? Is anybody helping out with this, or hanging out with this, or do you guys have other things you want to do? You're looking for a broken
I'll
tooth?
help out.
Yeah, what kind of check would it be to help harvest the poison sacks, actually?
Probably survival.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. Alaris
Alsana
has,
can roll
proficiency
survival
in
with
survival,
proficiency because of her alchemy and poisoner's kits.
All right.
Yeah,
Plus
and
guidance.
Alaris will help out since he has proficiency in survival as
Okay,
well.
could just be a medicine check then. It's the same thing for her.
Yeah, if you've got the same number, go for it.
Right.
Let's have a roll from each of you, and we're just gonna
sorry,
kind of put them together as you.
Did I hear
Yes?
Alara saying he's giving help instead?
Did you want to help and give advantage instead?
Yeah.
Okay. So
I
advantage
trust
with
Alsana
guidance.
with this.
Mhm. Very nice.
26.
Very, very nice. All right. How do we rule this? You're getting vials of pure green dragon wormling poison. Green wormling poison.
She
It
I'd say
is
that's like,
She's
yeah.
not doing all of them. I will say.
okay.
Basically, at least for now, like they are very confident they could do it easily. Yeah.
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then
How
yeah.
many do you want to get? One or two? Three?
She wants
I'll allow up to 3.
How many bodies are there total?
5.
5. Okay. Yep. Well, that works out well. She basically wants to keep the 2 that are in best condition.
Okay.
At least one specifically, that very first one that was just a bolt of lightning and then a single crossbow bolt.
Mm-hmm.
Very quick, very. I assume it's probably in the best condition.
Aside from some charring and probably nerve damage, yeah.
Well, I don't think we're resuscitating these things.
Well, yeah, but not my mess with quality somewhat, but it's fine.
All right.
That one didn't take damage from falling from the sky. That one was on the lip of the.
Yep. Yeah, that's.
Oh,
what I-
actually, that one fell down into the well. You'd have to go retrieve that body
Oh,
downstairs.
Okay.
Way downstairs.
Could she have
My
done
bad.
that during that little
It would have taken some time.
She has
It would have taken
she has a
some
broom, She can
exploration.
go down.
And basically, you would see this this map that I didn't end up using. Let me just
Because
go
we
ahead
didn't
and
go down the second path because we got our asses kicked so hard in the first two combats.
Yeah.
And the GM had to throw together the second encounter to basically give us the boss fight in the next morning.
I threw together that because basically there were reasons. It wasn't just that. It was how much time was taken and a full long rest. Certain things had been set in motion by you exploring and poking around the upper area. And so basically they would have moved. Anyway, let me go ahead and shift you on. You can just see. I've revealed the entire area. And you find, bizarrely, this huge, sprawling cavern system with a stream of water, a couple of small, like, pond-like lakes, some rock formations high up, cave system in the back. And for some reason, there's this magical sunlight set in the ceiling of this cavern, or at least sun equivalent. It's not a single point. It's almost washed across the ceiling of the cavern. It's roughly equivalent to what the daylight would be outside this time of morning if it wasn't completely overcast with a coming thunderstorm. Possibly kicked into high gear by Alsana. But while exploring around, you do find on top of one of these rock formations right over here, about equivalent with where the well is upstairs, the broken body of that first small dragon.
Can also give a glance around the area for any sort of clutch of broken eggs.
Are you pretty much exploring the entire area?
Not the entire. She's not turning over every stone. She'll just do a float around like over the water and come back.
Okay, so like water, there's like all these plants, stunted trees. Actually, you spot a few like poisonous-looking snakes in some of the undergrowth. Probably good you aren't tromping through by foot. Go ahead and do a perception check.
Also,
You're
just
not.
as a small side thing too, she's given the plants and everything in here. She's fairly certain that this kind of sunlight can maintain plant life. Yeah.
I mean, clearly it has.
Okay. Yeah. But it's not like plants are, grass that grows in dark conditions or anything and just looks nice.
Yeah, it's apparently it's thrived even in these conditions. Its stuff's a little stunted perhaps, but it seems okay.
All right. And guidance on herself as she looks around.
14 plus 2, 16. Aside from the occasional snake, small rodent that has survived somehow, the plants, the light, the water, you're not really seeing anything in the veins of, like, eggshells or even tracks, really, at the moment. But yeah, you do see, like, above that rock formation where you found the body, you do see that the ceiling has apparently been, like, torn and broken through just above that where the bottom of the well would be for that room in the next level, which lined up with the bottom of the well in the courtyard.
Okay. And she'll just kind of give a look and glance around and go, I do like this place. And she'll basically note down in her book some of the poisonous-looking things that are around here, just for later exploration. And float back up with the body in tow and go, I found somewhere else no one's allowed to touch but me for the first bit.
Okay.
I found where our little visitors came from.
Eggs. Probably.
The path we didn't. I didn't find any, but I'm not ruling out that they aren't there. But the area we deemed too much for us to continue onward to have gone down into a sort of artificial landscape.
Are you sure you want to go there alone? I think they're... Well, you can deal with the little ones that come up here.
Well, you people can go behind me, mind you, just no one's allowed to touch anything but me. She gives a smile.
Until you touch it, maybe? You can bring the pole, I think. Kane, you still have that pole, right?
Until I'm sure that no one else is in danger of touching it, or endangers the things they're touching.
Well, if you need to, I can stay on the broom with you, because I can... If you get a danger,
We'll worry
I can...
about it later.
Alright,
More
alright.
importantly, and she just kind of like lays the corpse down beside the other 5. I think I have a well, I was just staring at this thing on the way up, and I have some confidence in. I think we can get something out of them.
Good.
So for the poison attacks.
Alright, you rolled a pretty ridiculous survival check on retrieving poison. You're pulling from 3 of them?
You said up to 3?
Yep.
Yes, then 3 of them.
You said you wanted to take 2 intact, so it works. You know what? Let's go ahead and say that per dragon, I know this can get goofy, potentially, but 26 survival, per dragon, let's say it's, Does 1d4 plus 1 sound unreasonable per dragon, or should it be a little bit more for
I mean,
26?
I'd imagine it'd be more potent than like a serpent's, like a poisonous snake poison.
It's pretty much going to be just what these things are capable of, maybe just a little bit more condensed because it's not being sprayed out in a cone, it's in a single serving vial. So it might have a higher con DC.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just to give you a little click to refresh on dice, normally DC 11 con save, and it's 6d6 poison damage. In concentrated form, put onto, say, if you dump the entire vial into somebody's drink or feed it to them or something, then the con save might be higher. Let's say DC 14 if like the entire vial is ingested. If you're dipping bolts or putting it on a sword, it's a little more spread out. And 66 is a lot of damage on a shot. But DC 12 and...
Well, I was gonna say basically, since we're dividing it between shots, meanwhile these things are both they're making more of it on the fly, so they're gonna have more to throw out, whereas we're getting the one amount that they had in them before they died. I would say that probably a D6 a shot would make sense. And we could get 6 shots per stack.
Yep. Or if you put it on a melee weapon such as a sword, as long as it cuts in some way or pierces, then I'd say you get basically, once it hits something 6 times, you get 1d6 extra poison damage per hit. Once it actually you make the hit 6 times, then that vial has run out. That use has run out.
Okay, so it's
so you're gonna have to keep track of that.
So basically, so it's more like a kind of enchantment on a weapon.
A little bit, but it's not permanent.
Yeah, but it's basically you put it on the sword once, and then you have 6 swings that hit no matter what for the next hour.
Probably something like that. I'm sure it'll wear off eventually, but yeah, for a next hour.
All right.
And it's not going to be 6 swings; it's 6 actual contacts. So,
when you do damage,
yes.
You've
got a pool of 6d6 damage. You can do 1d6 per hit you make with that weapon.
When you hit with a melee or ranged attack, it deals 1d6. On a melee weapon, it can be applied once, and the damage can be done again on a subsequent attack. On a ranged weapon, it can be fractioned out between bolts.
Yeah, and just to make it fair between melee and ranged, I'm gonna say you don't have to sit there and count. Oh, I missed that shot. There goes that poisoned bolt. Bye bye.
Okay.
I'm not gonna keep track of that for the fairness sake. So if you hit and if you've poisoned your bolts recently, then it's a 1d6 on one that
Well,
hits.
I could argue
Yeah.
that the trade-off there is that archers can basically choose when to do it and when not to do it, whereas a melee person it's gonna be the next time you hit.
I mean,
You're gonna have it for an hour, and you're gonna be
Yeah.
doing that damage in an hour, whereas maybe an archer could have basically 6 shots they mark off over the course of an entire dungeon.
Yo.
Yeah.
Can we discuss this outside of session?
Sure. We'll figure it out for now. For the actual vials you get,
66, 1d6 per hit.
DC say 12 Constitution saving throw for on attacks.
Yeah.
However, for how many vials you get, my question was: is it reasonable to say 1d4 plus 1 per dragon? So minimum of 2 per dragon, maximum of 5.
Sounds good.
That's quite a bit more than I would suspect, but yeah.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
it's
sounds
also
good.
26.
Only reason I'd say I'd put it at less is because they already expended some of their uses. I'd
They
probably
did.
put it at 1d2 plus 1.
However,
Yeah.
you are kind of you might have found
got a
like the
24.
forest land or something. There was a 26 survival check.
Yeah.
26.
Yeah, it's kind
It's
of
not-
unfair. If you're
it's not
like, oh, you only get one.
It's not
Yeah.
godlike, but it is over that 25 threshold.
Yeah.
Alright,
Um,
so then...
And it is going to be a little up to luck anyway, despite that 25 threshold.
Do we
You
wanna
could roll
do-
very poorly.
Do we want to do 3d4 plus 1 then? Or...
I'd say that's more fair. Because
Sure.
there's less likely to find a consistent source, but you're more likely to find an optional
Yeah.
source.
All right,
Yeah.
go ahead and roll 3d4 plus 1, Alsana. There we go.
10.
You rolled
Nice.
very well.
Nice.
All right,
10 vials of acid.
keep track
Or
of
rather,
that.
poison.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. With that, you do another full sweep of the areas downstairs and up. The area is considered clear of any dangers, though some people are still kind of slowly burn out that yellow mold from that one very damp
yeah.
room, and somebody else has examined and marked off a particular door in the downstairs dungeon as false and a trap.
Can Alsana actually get a sample of that yellow mold before it's completely removed?
Sure. It's really dangerous to touch. Keep in mind, so how exactly are you going about getting a sample?
Good question. She is... what does it do? Does it do poison?
It, let me double check that. It's in the book. Didn't have that open.
Sorry about that.
Oh, it's okay. You know, we're bouncing back and forth a little bit on locations. Let me just find that. I put the page number there. I know it's like a 10-foot radius of spores, and it is poison.
Alright.
Poison's the big theme of this dungeon.
I can tell. I think Alsana will just go ahead and, as she's going to do it, cast a healing spirit beside her. Should be 0. But yeah, just have that going so that if and when things mess up, she's not in danger.
Okay. Yeah.
And
Okay, it is a little bit terrible in some ways, so it might be up to a race of numbers. And we'll get to you and your arrows in a moment, Kane. As you're poking around trying to get a sample, it does eject a cloud of spores that fills a 10-foot cube from the mold, so there's not really a way to do it long distance and accurately. Can you do a quick Constitution saving throw?
Yes. Double check if I have. Constitution saving throw, normal, 20.
Yeah, you're fine, actually. You do not take any damage. You are not poisoned by it. So you actually don't take any harm from one sample of the mold. If you are planning on sampling from different patches, then you might have to repeat that save. But for the one,
She'll
you
do
get it free
one
of
more.
harm.
If
All
she
right,
can.
one more con save.
8.
At that point, you do take, so depending on how much your healing spirit heals, you take 4 poison damage. You're poisoned for 1 minute, and you take 1d10 poison damage at every 6 seconds, but you can repeat the save every 6 seconds. So it's kind of a race. I'll say that you might come out of it
Less
coughing and
restoration.
hacking and not happy, but you're able to clear out. Yeah, by all means, yes. So you're
I believe
just
that
right
just
away.
deletes it.
It does right away. You know what's happening. All right. You get them in a couple vials. I'll say that because you recognize what it was. You know that even sunlight can instantly destroy this. So you're packing them in vials that are painted black on the
yeah.
outside for very light sensitive items,
Alright.
and you've got them carefully labeled and tucked away in a pouch so that they don't
What was the
break.
name? Just yellow mold, or
Yellow mold. That is outright what it is called. Somebody named it not very imaginatively, but accurately.
alright.
Alright, Kane, in the meantime, is searching for arrows. You're once again in the armory. Go ahead and do a quick investigation check as you're just poking around. See how lucky you get. I will say, no matter what you roll, you'll get some at the very least. I just want to see how fortunate you are. Oh, nice. Okay, that's enough for actually something else that's special. Let me move you back over onto that map so you can see something. Scroll down in the visual to that armory room where you fought those things. I'll say that on top of arrows in that room, probably quite a few. Do you want to roll? Oh, lots. I'm trying to come up with a number that works in my head, and also roll 1d10 plus 10. You could potentially fill your quiver, or you might not, so you might only fill half. But you'll have a good chunk of a number. So 13, okay. And as you're shifting things around and searching for arrows, you actually come to a patch of wall, and as you're leaning down to move some leather armor out, you put your hand out to lean against the wall, and you fall through. As you realize this chunk of wall was an illusion, DC 15 investigation check, and you find a smaller side armory room, less cluttered, less jumbled, less rusted and torn. This is where they're keeping the good stuff. And Kane is in heaven. Yeah, just immediately rifling through, you find a gorgeous javelin with kind of a lightning bolt look out to it. You find a quiver with 3 compartments that look like it'll fit tons of arrows, maybe space for javelins and spears. Another compartment you can stick your bow in. And then there's just a whole bunch of good quality still normal weapons and armor and so on. It's all in the bag. You don't quite know what all of it, if any of it, does, but some things just look really nice. What kind of weapons and armor? It varies. You've got everything from leather to metal. There's chain. There's you've got melee weapons. You've got ranged weapons. There are some crossbow bolts in there if you want to take a few for Elaris. Yeah, plenty of additional arrows. On that, go ahead and roll, let's say 3d10 plus 10 for additional arrows. There's probably a good chance of a hand crossbow. Give me a quick d20 luck roll. Your chances are good. You don't have to roll very, very high, but... okay, you find a hand crossbow, but unfortunately the string in it did give out over the century that's been unattended, untaken care of. It's not magical. But if you can get that replaced, it'll be functional. Oh, no, wait. I'm sorry. That D20 was Kane. Alright, Kane, that was the one you found, but then you rifle through, and since I'm gonna take the one that John rolled, you rifle through and you find one actually in working condition. Not magical, but working. And bolts for it. As I am communicating with people who cannot speak at the moment.
Oh, sorry, test.
Alright.
Sorry, I just got into the habit of typing and forgot.
Mhm.
Yeah, just when you send the list of all the other rooms that we looted, just send me that list as well, and I'll just add it to my inventory.
Sure. I will do so. Actually, I was kind of gonna run over the various loot as you guys have now a full day to explore, to loot, to find things. I will write it down and I will send it in a chat later on, however. Actually, I wanted to go over one thing you find interesting in that room that seems almost out of place. And that is a cloak of kind of a dark, misty gray material. And around the collar are these gray feathers. It's not all the way down the cloak, it's just around the collar.
How fashionable does it look?
It looks, well, I don't know, how good are you with fashion?
Terrible.
It looks the spiffiest thing you've ever seen.
Think like redneck fashion, that's what he's got.
Alright, maybe it looks a little bit weird and fancy, but
Oh, okay. You will put
kinda
on the
cool.
cloak, tie it.
It swooshes very nicely as you walk.
As he loots the rest of the room, he is enjoying his cloak.
Yep, you kind of stick your elbows out sometimes just so it fans out behind you and swish, swish, swish.
Oh my god, I actually have arrows now.
Yes, you do actually have arrows now. Lots and lots of arrows.
It was needed. I had one at the end of that.
Alright. Does anybody else want to do any special as I'll go ahead and I'll reveal
Can we
square
explore that
room.
upstairs?
The upstairs?
Yeah, that upstairs room we never got to.
The staircase, actually, I said before, it leads to a secret door that goes out into a storeroom. That the threshold, folk had completely overlooked.
Okay.
They missed it and overlooked it, and they just put like shelving units and storage in front of it.
Sorry, I thought that was a different upstairs.
Nope. That is the proper entrance to this underground area. The place you came through was you broke through the floor ceiling.
Also,
It was by accident.
Alsana is going to go into that armory room. Probably after Kane's got his grubby paws on everything.
Hey, the books are your area.
It's empty, dude.
The weapons are Kane's.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
look, I cannot
Lisa
describe to you.
has-
Everything is in the bag
Okay.
from that like side room.
All right. She just looks in and goes, "Where's everything?"
Bag.
She just turns. Did you check if anything was magic?
Nope.
Oh, I guess you
I
can.
do it
And she
myself,
walks
so I
off.
figured I'll do it later.
Yep, and she walks off.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah.
You jokes? Alright.
So Lars is just currently doing like a bit of crossbow maintenance, just like if there's like an upstairs level that's near the armory, because he might ask Kane once he's done searching the armory if he found any bolts or anything.
Kane will like hand him just like a large handful of crossbow bolts and says, "Oh, I'll keep the rest for the people here." You fixing up that crossbow of yours?
Sorry?
You fixing up that crossbow of yours?
Yeah, just a bit. It's just a bit of maintenance. You just need to, like oil up the.
He'll pull out the hand
various
crossbow
divots
you
and
got.
everything.
Do you mind explaining me
Whoa!
how you do it? And he's gonna just like take out
This.
the crossbow he found. I just wanna find it in the armory. I just wanna figure out how to do it. Never had to maintain one before.
Yeah, and Lars will go into explaining the various things, and this is his first time like getting his hands on a hand crossbow. How many of these did you find, or is this just the one?
I think just the one, right?
You said I think Ariel said there was one, but there was also one that was broken.
I'm not sure.
There was one
I
with
I threw that out there because I looked at that 7 first and didn't realize that Conrad had rolled it.
Okay.
So I went with the 17 afterwards.
Okay.
You know, he more so wants to watch as you maintain your crossbow and try to do the same for the hand crossbow.
Yeah. It's just, like making sure like the string when you pull it taut properly doesn't have too much tension on it so it doesn't snap and everything.
Do you keep it loaded normally, or does that put too much tension on the string, kind of like a bow always strung?
You want to keep, you don't want to keep it taut too much, or else it'll mess with the tension on strings, and then at one point it'll just snap. So you want to load it when you have the chance to.
Oh, alright. He'll undo it, kind of look at the mechanics, make sure all that's working out as best he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he'll kind of put the crossbow back together and say, like, alright, Merry Christmas. Does Christmas exist here?
No, but I believe there is a. Let me double check my
That's fine.
holiday.
Happy birthday.
Oh,
As a
you're giving me that?
I can't use it. Well, I don't want to use it, please.
Nice. Well, yeah. Happy birthday. This is quite nice. Thanks, man.
Of course. If you find anything more bladed, send it my way.
Of course.
As a quick aside, did Alsana see the cloak on Kane?
I mean,
Probably.
it's out in the open. You
Yeah,
absolutely.
he's wearing it.
Okay, so that
Yeah.
was like after he didn't put it on like after it was like as soon as he found it.
Oh no, he strutted out.
Okay. Could you just like cast detect magic real quick when she like glanced at him earlier?
Sure. You detect magic, and aside from the bag and his
Weapon.
his bow and sword, his weapons, yeah, the cloak is at least a little bit magical. You're picking up a hint of maybe a kind of transfiguration.
Transmutation, you mean?
Transmutation, yes, thank you. My brain is I'm trying to type at the same time.
Has she heard of any sort of magical items like that before?
Arcana.
All right, guidance.
19 and 3, 21, 22. You've heard of so many magical cloaks. It's not an uncommon thing for somebody to go, oh hey, I've got a nifty piece of cloth that I can wear around my neck and down my back. I'm going to put magic in it. As for transmutation magic
With
in
feathers.
cloaks with feathers, I mean, you've heard of the whole, like, the wings of flying cloaks. However, those tend to be feathers all the way down. The fact that the feathers are only around the collar is kind of throwing you, as is the fact that the magic seems to be concentrated more on that collar of feathers than all the way through the cloak.
Okay. She'll just note that to herself and not say anything.
Kane will attempt to attune to this over the course of the short rest he's taking with Thalaris.
Okay.
Yeah, is there any chance that at some point he can make the hand crossbows pack weapon?
I mean, if you'd really like to, do
Yeah.
you want to transfer your packed weapon thing to your hand crossbow and away from
Yeah.
your?
Yeah, because
Okay.
at the very least, he just wants to try it out.
All right. You transfer it over, and it's kind of the weirdest thing. Your own crossbow, you've gotten used to that heavy dark wood, and in the stock, and just the scheme of it. You do this ritual to transfer the packed weapon power over to the hand crossbow, and you watch as the wood on that actually darkens to the same shade, whereas your original one lightens to its original hue.
Whoa. Interesting.
As Ariel continues to type the loot up for all of us.
It's called up much right now.
Yeah, Calda, is there anything you'd like to get up to?
I think she's just chilling.
Okay. If anybody needs to take a quick break for bathroom, go ahead. If not, we'll go ahead and wrap up anything else that needs to be done this day, this session, and move things along. I'm still typing things.
Sana will stop by Adelaide.
Mhm.
And just go, Auntie, question.
Yes?
Does your group in the settlement here, are they in much need of weapons and armor?
Occasionally, some of us do better with it. Not all of us are fighters. And if not, we can always clean it up and trade or sell it. Get it where it should be.
Alright, just to let you know, dear brother has taken to shoveling each and everything in that armory into his magical, extra large bag. Just thought I'd let you know. And
Huh.
she kinda like pats her shoulder and walks off.
Alright. Just about done? There we go. That is the rest of the kind of the stuff you come across, in addition to the coinage. The stuff that is, aside from what Kane found, they kind of go, oh yeah, sure, go ahead, take it. We don't know what it is, or we don't really need it or care, and you guys helped us out by clearing this out. And but that's the kind of fun stuff there is. For values on anything, or for seeing if any of it's magical, you would probably have to get it either appraised, identified. You can do detect magic if you want to have that going while if you gather it all together and then give it a sweep. But otherwise, yeah, Adelaide might go find Kane, wherever he might be.
Probably still up there with Laris, but more relaxed.
Kane, do you have plans for the contents of the armory?
See what's useful, see what isn't, if there's anything use, take it with me. If not, either.
Well, we might take some of it,
Sure.
and we'll just some of it we can clean up and sell. I think that anything that seems strongly magical, we could probably send along with you. You're doing important work as it is. I don't think anybody's going to complain, but if you want to, especially some of the armor, I don't think you can wear all of it.
That's true.
Yeah. Some we may be able to repair or restore. At the very least, there's historical significance. So. Oh, we lost him.
Can Alsana also just real quick run a detect magic on the library?
Test.
Yep,
Test.
There we go. Sorry for that, it just immediately crashed.
Yeah. She's just asking that you share some of the, especially the armor and some of the weapons and stuff, so that they can sort through it with you. She offers to help you right away.
You'll basically request that if anyone here knows how to repair metal or armor, I think I know the suit that I plan to switch into, and then I'll just keep the stuff I brought with me in terms of armor.
All right. Actually, I think Therlin can help with that. Come with me, and she'll take you and introduce you to a middle-aged, perhaps dwarven woman, Therlin Thrahak, and she'll take your measurements and do some shaping and working with part of the day in order to make that fit you. So you now have a fitted set of plate mail. A little still
Oh,
draconic
yes.
appearance, but
Alright. And he'll kind of remain with her. Is she a, like a metallurgy expert, or is she more just fitting?
I she's a little bit more does what needs doing with metal. Mostly for them, it's minor repair work and necessary like metalworked items. However, she's had a background in various kinds of smithing, including armor work. So that's why she was able to get this to work for you.
In that case, he'll basically sit with her, and all the weapons that he has on him, he'll just basically one by one, hope with her help, and offering his help if she needs it afterwards. Like just fix up the weapons, make sure the blades are sharp,
Yeah.
straighten out any bends. Just he's got a bunch of weapons he needs to work on.
Like a full third of them, she looks at and goes scrap and tosses it over her shoulder into a pile.
Yep, she takes it. He takes most of them if she's not going to use them, and sticks it in the bag. It's like, I'll sell it later.
All
Unless
right.
you need the metal, of course.
Yeah. Well, we can always use the metal here.
In that
Anybody-
case, he will dump out the 4 sets of armor, the 3 sets of armor that he couldn't use.
Holy. All right. That's definite scrap. Well, that should keep us going for a while. Regardless, all of this though, and she's looking at this array of weapons you pulled out one after another after another.
Yep.
Are you prepared to stay here for at least a week, helping me with this?
As long as the rest of my team doesn't have any objections, sure.
Because my gods, boy, this is so much. You have no idea.
Including one rusty pocket knife.
One rusty pocket knife. So pretty much with a few very solid days at the very least, just getting work done on all of this. I do not have numbers for you for how many and what kinds of weapons.
That is
It's
A-okay.
ridiculous.
Can I get a rough, like, gold value once completed worth of weapons?
I will do research and get back to you on that after game.
Please do.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody have anything else they want to do with the rest of this day or this place?
Sana's running a quick check at the library.
Yes, magic check on the library. You run detect magic. You're not picking up any books that are magical.
She's a bit sad, but if she can, she's got the spell slots. If she can as well, she'll run one in the green area underground with the sunlight.
Okay. You pick up the magic that created this sunlight. There's also seems to be some kind of magic that seems to kind of force air to circulate occasionally. Beyond that, there doesn't seem to be anything really, really magical going on. You might find like the shredded remains of what might have been some kind of roll a quick arcana.
Oh boy. If she's looking
find-
at a weird thing, can she guess guidance?
Yeah, you're looking at a weird thing. You catch the sense of an imprint of a spell, and it was a spell that was there for a long time, but is gone now. 25 plus 2, 27. Pretty good. You get the sense it's back in the cave system, way to the back, where you hadn't flown over or flown through, and you'd have to kind of enter, but you see, like, you find the shredded remains not far into the entrance. It seems to have been a spell that, one word you can think of is stasis. Something preserved something for a long time and then let loose.
Can she look around that area for one more time for any like remains of like dragon eggs or any sort of like nesting or anything?
Sure. All right. The caves are darker. You've got dark vision, but that would be a disadvantage on perception in
Glasses.
dim light condition. That's not perception.
Oh no.
It's investigation.
Is it not
If you're-
also investigation? I don't know.
This is a weird overlap between investigation and perception that I'm never sure of.
I'll take a disadvantage guidance perception if that's cool.
Yeah, you're doing more of a sweep of the rooms instead of a focused attention on one area of a room. Sort of. So yeah, perception. Let's stick with that.
Actually, can she also just use produce flame to give herself some more light?
Yeah, actually, that'll get rid of the disadvantage. Kind of narrows your range, but you're walking around in there anyway. I'm just trying to remember that dim light rule. I really am.
21.
Okay. Yeah, you do find the broken remains of some eggs.
There seems to
5
be
of
about...
them.
Yep, same number.
Same number.
Okay.
And you see, like, a long dug-in imprint of what might have once been that stone dragon thing if it had been, like, curled up in a single position for a very, very long time.
She kind of looks at it. There's not more of these in the other one. Can she basically collect some of the eggshell?
Alright. You can do so. They're shards, really. They're dry. Some of them have been trampled into almost powder, just given time, but you can find some fairly big shards here and there.
She'll take some of the smaller ones too. She'll probably grind it into powder eventually. But
Alright. A little hard to pick up without getting also some rock dust from the cavern floor, but sure. Let's say 5 large dragon shell shards and basically a vial of dragon shell near powder. Dragon shell powder.
and 1 vial of powder.
Yep.
Green dragon, does it matter?
I mean, sure, go ahead and specify just in case we forget about this and go back in the future and go, wait, what the heck?
Alright. Next 1 vial of green dragon powder. Okay.
Alright.
One last thing.
Mm-hmm.
Sana will go find Kane.
Okay. Kane, as you're helping Thurlin, or Thurlin is really helping you, one way or another, sort through your various sharp, pointy objects and figure out what's salvageable and what really is got no hope left. You glance over your shoulder and you see Elsana walking towards this small outdoor forge area.
Nods to her and continues sharpening.
Walks over. I'm guessing that's all the stuff you kept in your bag.
Some of the stuff that was brought up too. It's not going to be maintained.
Are you using your bag right now?
I mean, I'd rather not leave all the metal out in the open air. Why?
Well, we find ourselves with at least 2 rather well-conditioned corpses.
The dragons?
Yes.
Sure. Need me to lift him?
No, just a spot to put them that doesn't require a cart for us to travel back.
Alright. Oh, I'll come pick him up then.
Narrows her eyes and walks off towards where they are.
I'll follow behind and kind of apologize back. Sorry about that. Want me to bring you back some food while I'm out?
What is this?
Oh, he's saying this to the armor smith first and then follows behind.
Alright.
I'm good, don't worry about me.
Alright,
What remains?
Yo. Follow behind.
What is this?
Sorry. I'm cutting out really bad. Hold on.
Alright. In the meantime, Calda, if you wanted to go find somebody to get that letter sent, we can do that. If Ty is there, I don't know if you can respond.
Sorry, just got back. I didn't hear what Alsana said there.
What is this?
gonna have to be more specific than that.
You agreeing without any issue.
In a good mood.
She kind of glances over. We're playing at something.
Asana, I'm not hiding things. I say what I feel, that's all.
I don't think you know everything you feel. But
Probably not, but I say what I know.
she mutters to herself, but nothing out loud. I guess they eventually reach the Dragon Corpse.
Yep.
These two are of good quality. Am I going to have to compensate you for the transport like last time, or what? You there, Conrad?
Conrad.
Nope, he's gone, probably.
Ah. Well, as you're negotiating this, and as the day wears on, the thunderstorm does roll in properly, and for a while you don't want to be outside very much as rain starts to fall, wind starts to howl. I'll say that you've dragged the dragon bodies under some cover in order to see about working on them, but occasionally it is kind of cold, wet, and miserable as the wind catches the rain and lashes it sideways against you.
Well, if she needed to, Alsana could take control of the storm again.
If she really needs to. It'll blow over fairly quickly. Calda is staying nice and warm and dry inside. Full crash for Conrad. It'll be a moment. Elaris, you're getting the feel for your hand crossbow and getting used to this being
Yep.
a packed weapon now and just enjoying yourself for that.
Yeah, it's quite fun.
Yep.
It's pretty quick to load because since I have the crossbow expertise, so it's like, oh.
Mm-hmm. I'll just move everybody back to the main map.
Nice to have a hand free.
Oh, one last thing, I guess, while we're waiting on the other two. Alsana checks in on York.
All right.
Pulls this, just like when she's maybe in a room or something.
Yeah. Hey,
Oh,
you
hello.
forget about me.
Little things have been happening.
I've noticed. I was there through most of it.
Mm.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Glad I can't be poisoned. Ha. Suckers.
I can't either. Well, as long as I'm not tired. She kind of just puts it on like a table and just turns it towards her.
Test.
Say, what runs around the city but never moves? Test, Conrad.
Thank you.
She kind of thinks for a sec. A river?
I guess it might if there's a river going around the city, it could. I feel like that's cheating. I feel like that's not supposed to be the answer. No, it's not wind.
Runs around, but it
Come
never
on,
moves?
I thought you were supposed to be
Sorry,
smart.
Is Kane here?
No, no, she's on her own.
She's gone off to the side for a bit.
Okay. Sorry, did I get an answer to what Kane said with the split the money?
You didn't say anything.
We
sorry,
lost
it's
you
in
at
the
that
roll 20.
point.
It's in the roll 20.
That took a while to show up as well.
Yeah, sorry, I wasn't sure. That's why I asked. Yeah, no. He said basically, as long as we agree to split, ain't no need.
Would you prefer something else?
No, I kind of need money to buy some more arrows and things.
Alsana holds up a vial of the dragon poison.
Poison's not my favorite tool to use.
Oh, I almost forgot one thing that I'd actually written up separately that you would have found in the secret vault of armory stuff.
Stuff.
Yeah. another thing that would have seemed out of place. There is a gem. It looks red. You're not sure if it's a ruby or something else. But there is a gem, kind of wrapped in gold wire as a case, and attached to it is a long, fine chain, maybe as long as your forearm, from wrist to elbow. So, you're not quite sure what it is. It's not a weapon, but it was in the weapons room.
Alright, I'll do the thing and just... Really? You, the one of blades and pointed sticks, no care for poison at all?
I'll use it if I must, but it takes time to apply. If you're using it on an arrow and it misses, it's a waste. It's just very finicky.
As far as I know, this stuff will last for an hour. And you can choose
Again,
which shots to take and which are better.
Well, well, I would definitely take it if you offer it. I believe the money that we found is worth a significant amount more.
Money found.
Yeah, in the first room.
No, I'm saying the money for selling the corpse.
Oh, no, that's all yours. I just want the money from the room split evenly.
Well, that was already going there. She just pockets the poison again.
Alright, guess we're in agreement then. He'll load them up. And... by the way, Kane attuned to the cloak over the short rest if he needed to. Does he need to attune to it?
Would you have known to attune to it?
He knows it's magic. Like, it's a cloak in a room full of weapons.
Okay.
Yes. Sitting and focusing on it for an hour does not seem to change anything.
Okay. In that case, he just kind of picks up the cloak and says, if you do feel like giving me some kind of payment, any way to figure out what the cloak is for?
She gives her a look and goes, "Why do you not know?"
As I'm sure you're very aware, I can't exactly figure out what it does without trying and error. And with magic items, I try not to mess with that too much.
But it's a thing in a weapon room. That means it's automatically yours, doesn't it?
Oh, it's definitely
For
mine. Just wanted to know if you knew what it did.
And she tilts her head. Well, if it's yours, then you can handle that on your own.
Alright.
The magic's mainly in the collar. You're not gonna be flying with it, but it does something.
Alright, good stuff. And, by the way, just to clarify, reason I wanted to stick around earlier, argument or not, don't think it's safe down in that dungeon alone. There's no tricks there. Just wanted to make sure you didn't get hurt.
She tilts her head. I can take hurt. I can heal hurt. Why is that a worry
Yeah,
for you?
you can heal yourself as long as you're conscious to do it.
So you were worried about me dying?
Is this a surprise?
More than you'd think.
Well, we got a mission to complete. Wouldn't exactly do to have the only person who can cast full magic
There it is.
pass on us.
No, you're right. Totally expected. I don't know why I thought anything else. Got any other magic crap? I can take a look. Other than that, I'll serve my purpose as the mage. And I'll do my purpose as the mage.
And I'll serve
best
mine as the
I-
wall.
To the best of my ability.
Hey, you got it! You hear from Yorick. You! The one I thought was dumb, you're actually smart, you got it! Jeez, lady, what's wrong with you? I thought you'd get that, that was easy. What runs around the city but never moves? Oh, wall! Duh! And it goes quiet again.
Goodness. I don't.
Kane just kind of like, oh shit, I'm lagging.
Oh no.
Can you hear us now?
Kane will just like pinch the bridge of his nose and be like, cut that thing.
Yes. Magic items are my forte.
Fair enough.
Though he seems to like you.
Oh god, I hope not.
Why don't you have a conversation? I'm sure you two would get along swimmingly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I could swim. Hey, big guy, can you swim?
Decently. I won't drown.
Well, I won't drown either. Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but you get stuck at the bottom, wouldn't you?
Yeah, probably. Doesn't mean I'm
Stick
drowning.
with Osana, she can fly. It's cooler.
Yeah, no arguments there.
Alsana
And he
gives
kinda...
a weird look to Kane and just kind of shrugs. Goes to walk
By the way. Oh, is she walking off her?
She's going to.
Yeah, guys.
Stop.
Real quick. More to maintaining all the weapons. Need the scimitar sharpened?
No, I don't.
Alright. Make sure when you, use it next, you, take a look at the handle. It seems like the leather's getting a bit loose. Don't want it to slip out there.
She turns and gives a glance. It's plenty sharp and it's plenty well put together because I don't use it much.
That's exactly why you need to maintain it. Weapon sitting in a scabbard too long gets, weathered like you're not.
I'm above the passage of time, as it were. She walks off.
Maybe you are. Sword isn't.
All right. That being done, anybody have anything else they want to bring up?
I think that's it.
Okay. Then, at that point, I'll probably say that the following 2 weeks in-game will pretty much be covered outside of sessions. So if you
Recap the
guys...
next.
Yep, recap at the next. You guys can tell me what you wish to do in the 2 weeks leading up to the next full moon. At the start of next session, we will go through the ritual. Please have agreed ahead of time which characters are taking the ritual. This is blue, it is magic. There is no physical option for this. It's mental or magic buffs in this one. After the ritual, we will go on ahead with the next leg of the journey in the next month. So, in preparation for that, everybody who is in the game, please roll 1d100. I will take care of the one for Ty, because Ty is out of the game, if that's okay, unless you'd rather roll a physical die or something else sometime else and send me the number, whichever works for you, Ty, if you want to just type to me and let me know. So we've got...
Jeez, those numbers.
Wow.
Oh, dang.
Oh, goodness. I've got to write things down.
Oh?
Oh, dang.
Ty's gonna roll the big dice. 1 second. Tell me the number you get. It's gonna be fun. Oh, man. This preparation for the next round.
Here, I can roll for her if she'd like.
Nope. Ty is rolling. We're
Oh,
gonna
okay.
have this. Ty is rolling physically. So,
Oh no, the big physical D100.
yeah.
Oh.
I gave that as an option.
Aww. That thing hurts me to look at. It's so hefty.
This is a big bitch.
I got a nope. I don't know what that means. Anyway, that's an 87, 97, and 8.
Jesus, 8, 87, 97.
I can't wait to find what Ty gets.
A
But
77,
otherwise,
just to...
Mhm.
Fuck.
Yep. Otherwise, we're gonna go ahead and probably end the session here. It might be
Yeah.
it's a bit early, but this is probably a good breaking point before moving on.
The party has a nice dinner with the
Yes.
thresh.
Yeah.
And Kane has so much time to just be with a bunch of weapons and metal. He's in heaven.
Okay. Well, then that's pretty much it. I'll end the recording there. Till next time.
Alright.
Ty rolled a 100. Ty rolled a 100.
Are you
No.
fucking serious? No way.
Oh my god.
Okay, that wasn't everything.
Holy
Jesus
fuck.
Christ.
Oh,
Okay.
Y'all are gonna find like diamonds, and I'm gonna just get kicked in the nuts.
Hey, these things are not necessarily tied to individuals who rolled them, but I
Well,
do
that's
keep
fine,
track
but
of
just
who
the
did.
hilarity of this.
Yeah.
I swear to God, if mine's what I think it is.
A picture was sent to me. All right. So end the recording if you haven't. We're good.
Until next time.
Yeah.